Hey y'all.
Hey girls. What's up, y'all?
How does it feel to be international?
Girl, it
Can
is
y'all hear me?
kicking my ass.
Wait, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
Yeah.
Oh, okay. My headphones be doing this weird shit where it be muting itself, and it's like, why do you mute yourself? Like, what?
you.
Like,
It
big
is
time traveler.
literally kicking my ass, y'all. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh my gosh.
I'm trying
Was the
to.
wings good though?
The wings wasn't too bad. The
Damn.
wings wasn't too bad. I will say the wings was pretty good. For it being some German shit, it, it
Hmm.
definitely it definitely was busting and hitting very much so. So
In honor of your chicken, as well as in honor of Mary J. Blige being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Crispy chicken, fresh lettuce.
I knew that shit was
Wait,
coming.
audio cut out at the end. God said, no, bitch, cut it out.
Oh shoot. Nah, that is hilarious. Ooh, child. OMG,
Niggas really tried to cut
OMG.
my audio out. That's crazy.
I was
That's
like, what
really
did you
crazy.
know?
Elon, you will pay for your crimes.
Wait, your audio really cut out? I thought you did.
Yes.
I thought you
No,
went
my
on
audio
mute.
cut out. I had a nice little high note. Tortilla. They fucked up my tortilla
Yo.
moment. No, I really feel like Mary should have performed that last night. And she actually got on my nerves at the fact that she didn't. Like, I feel like she could have whispered in a little crispy chicken, chicken, chicken.
Not the
No,
Yo,
I'm done.
echo.
yes.
Let me stop playing with Mary now. Let me stop playing with Mary. I think Mary is one of the very few celebrities that I know could beat my ass. Like, so I don't want no beef with Mary J. Blige. I really feel like Mary would mollywop my ass, and I can't. I can't deal. I
I
can't.
agree. I'm not gonna lie.
No, she would beat my ass,
With them boots and all.
bruh. If she beat me with the boots, I might need the boots just to hang them up on my wall and say, not only did I get my ass beat by Mary J. Blige, but I have the boot that she beat me with.
Literally. She would jump you with the boot and in the boot. So you'll get a double boot beating. It'll
Oh
be
my
crazy.
god, not boot beats by Mary.
What? Yo, we
Boot
always coming up
beats.
with we always coming up with the fire ideas for these people. Somebody put us on the
Boot
team.
You're an idiot.
beats. Yo, we gotta stop playing, son. Y'all gonna conduct, cause I'm gonna crack jokes all night, son. I'm high, I got good energy, I'm happy to talk to y'all. Like, I'm mad goofy right now, yo.
Boot beats is crazy. But I like it. I really like it. I'm not gonna lie.
Somebody tell
It
Mary to
sounds
stop.
like a combination with some shoes and some headphones. I'm not gonna
That's
That's
what
what
lie.
I'm
I'm saying.
hearing. Beats. Fucking clown. You're an idiot.
She already had Dr. Dre up there in Dr. Hustle. It's a real easy layup. Just put the beat in the boot. Put the beat in the boot.
Oh, he actually inducted her? Well,
Yeah, I'm gonna get into all of that because I have theories
okay.
on some things. Well, not
Because we
theories.
know
I think y'all
we,
know
we
what
know
it is.
we know who couldn't induct her.
Right, exactly. So that was that. And they purposely, it was so crazy because I mean, I don't know if y'all want to just jump right into it. I mean, we can get it out the way because it's like I'm not gonna go too in depth because I did a whole thread last night on our Twitter page. So if you didn't watch the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame or you just want to like know what happened, I did like a little mini thread on the timeline. It was hard to include clips from the show because it streams on Disney and now today it's like clips are actually surfacing. But I'll just briefly go through um what happened. So in case people don't know, I always like to preface with things. So the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, it's been around since I believe like the 80s. I'm really not going to like fact check myself today, but it's been around since the 80s. I think the first like group inducted in was like the Beatles, Chuck Berry. It was like really like the foundation of rock and roll.
Hold on, Kia. Hold on. You a journalist. You gotta fact check
Oh
yourself,
yeah,
sis.
excuse me. Sorry. Want to make sure I have all my facts. You know, actually, let me look that up. I know it was in the 80s though. Okay.
Hey y'all. Welcome to the con. DZ. Feel me? What's good? What's good?
Yes, file and we're really just getting started. But I was touching on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because it did air. Well, it came on live last night.
Also, make sure if let me know if I keep like going in and out or whatever service wise, because you know, Wi-Fi is kind of crazy sometimes.
Yeah, no, you could.
All right, cool.
But yes, it started well, it didn't start. It was established April 20th, 1983, so I was right about the early 80s. And basically, well, it was founded by, I really can't pronounce his name, but I know he's been inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But he was the founder of Atlantic Records, which makes this all so crazy. That the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Foundation was founded by the guy who founded Atlantic Records. And then they've been able to partner with Rolling Stone magazine. That's when Jan Wiener's racist ass was over there, like helping them out with shit. But essentially, it's just an organization that's meant to induct. It started off with like quote unquote what the idea of rock and roll was in the 80s. You know, the Chuck Berrys, the Beatles, James Brown, like all of that. And of course, as times change and generations change, we're starting to see more hip hop artists be inducted. We're starting to see younger artists be inducted. So it's starting to become more of like a bigger spectacle. This year, I think the people they inducted that y'all care about would be Cher. Cher got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Zendaya inducted her wearing Bob Mackie, which I appreciate because Cher is the Bob Mackie like muse. And then Cher performed with Dua Lipa, which I thought made a hell of a lot of sense.
Oh, I love me some Dua. Now that's a white girl that could really do her thing. I love me some Dua Lipa, yo.
And she ate her performance up. Like, I'm not even gonna hold you. I was like, oh yeah, no, I like this little match. Like, that was one little collab they put together that I really, really liked. Um, so yeah, Cher got inducted and performed with Dua, and then I think the next one after that that y'all would care about would be Cool in the Gang. If anybody on here really, you know, is into Cool in the Gang, I of course love Cool in the Gang because Jersey. But yeah, Cool in the Gang is iconic. Like you probably even if you've never heard of a Cool in the Gang song, you've heard of a song that has sampled Cool in the Gang. Um, especially in hip hop. But yes, they were inducted. It kind of actually made me sad because I didn't realize that so many of the members had passed away. There's only two original like members left. Um, and one of them is actually,
Oh man,
I
damn.
know. And then one of them is actually Cool, so the actual guy who created the group. And then the other one is Tony, who's the lead singer. He's the one that sings Ladies Night, like more of the 80s songs that we know, like She's Fresh,
Oh,
Fresh. Like,
this is Ladies' Night,
yes,
the
that's him.
original.
Yes, that's
Mm-hmm.
him. Yep. Um, so yeah, they went up there and it was kind of sad. I also don't know how many of you guys know this, but I can't think of her name from Urkel, the show, but she passed away at a very young age. Michelle Thomas.
Myra.
Yes, Myra, yes. But her
Okay,
name is
okay.
Michelle Thomas, yes. Her
Yes.
dad was actually one of the founding members of Cool in the Gang as well. So that was always like a little fun fact that I like to say. Um
Oh wow.
mhm,
Okay, that's fire.
yeah.
Yeah, I
I
did not
love
know
when
that.
Hmm.
yeah, I love when like certain people are connect. I'm telling you, there's literally 6 degrees of separation within this industry. Like somebody cousin, aunt, uncle, dad, father, but somebody is always connected in this industry.
No, that's a fact. That is a big fact. It's just about like the nepotism just all depends on how much access you have to that connection. But other than
Yeah,
that,
that's a fact.
everybody got some type of connection in this industry. But yeah, that was her dad, and they both passed away. I think her dad passed away a couple years ago, and then she passed away in like I think the early 2000s. She had like a rare form of like cancer or leukemia or something. It was really sad.
Yeah,
Um,
I remember that when that happened. That was really sad. Like, damn, like she was so young and beautiful too.
yeah, and it's just like it's not like maybe I don't know. Sometimes when I think of young people, I'm like, okay, a car accident, a shooting, like certain things like that. But when it's like health related, it's like, damn, yo, like that's crazy. How your body could really just turn on you, like that's so crazy. Um, but yeah, so they got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I really like their package as well. They didn't have anyone perform with them; they just performed with their band. But in the video tribute package, they had interviews from Usher, Anderson .Paak, Lionel Richie, Mark Ronson, and I think that was it. The rest were just like archival videos. And yeah, it was really dope to like just see like such a wide range of artists kind of pay homage to them. After that, it was Dionne Warwick, again, another Jersey legend, like the fuck. Um, it was really nice to see Dionne because she just buried her aunt, of course, Whitney's mom, Cissy Houston, a couple days ago. So I can imagine that's kind of hard to just bury your aunt and then a couple days later, like be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But I love Dion. Like she's just like effortless, to be honest with you. Back in the day when I used to work at Neiman Marcus, one day she came in there and like she was so incognito, but she had no security. She was just by herself and she just walked in. She walked over to the sunglass. She was like, and then walked away. And I was like, that was such a great moment in my life. Like, I don't like these sunglasses either, Dion. Um she said, no.
So it's really her that be on Twitter then.
I don't
She
know if
really be
that's really, I don't think,
I think that's her. I really think
I
it
think it's
is.
her. Yeah.
I think it's like her
She's
and her granddaughter or like some type of like niece or something that's sitting there and she's saying it, but her niece is typing it.
because she be clapping back sometimes. I'm like, hold
Okay.
on.
No, Dion is hilarious. And it's actually funny because she did an interview recently with R&B Money podcast. And they were asking her about like Doja Cat sampling her, and she was like, I had no clue who the hell a Doja Cat was until like I think it was her granddaughter told her like, oh Nanny, like this rapper named Doja Cat sampled you, and she was like, huh? And then they play her the song, and she was like, I actually love it. Like people think I hate when people sample my music, but I actually love it because now somebody who's a Doja Cat fan who doesn't know me, they might want to do the research to know who I am. Um, so it was really dope to see an elder be like, nah, because Tank. I don't know if anybody watches R&B Money, but he has a way of sometimes
Yeah.
talking down on the next generation of like music makers. And Dion had to kind of check him. She was like, nah, 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 don't disrespect them. Let them explore the same way somebody let you explore in music, the same way somebody let me explore in music. You have to let them figure out what good music is. You have to let them figure out what they really want to be as artists. Don't judge them off the rip because somebody gave you a chance, somebody gave me a chance, somebody got to give them a chance.
I
Let me
think
go
too,
run that
on that same
episode up.
point, I feel
Y'all
like
both was like,
our
wait a minute.
I feel like our generation is a little too critical of artists who sample in the way that they're sampling. When you listen to a lot of the music that was sampled in like the 90s and the 80s, like they literally were sampling a lot of the time the same exact way, where they're literally just pulling the sample and just recreating their song over it. It wasn't like some super in-depth chop of the record and turning it into something brand new. A lot of the times, like they were sampling the same exact way that our generation is. So it's like when I see some of those critiques, it's like I get it, you want to hear more, but at the same time it's like they're not really doing anything lesser than they were doing in the 90s and the 80s. But okay.
Like I could understand the lazy samples, you know what I mean? Like the ones that okay, you just literally put in lyrics over the same beat. You didn't really change the beat a lot. But when you have the actual producers that know how to really still keep the integrity of the original song, because I think we should, touch on this a little later after the Hall of Fame. But Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre's mentioning of like, sampling and like how it's killing the game or whatever. But I think when you do it in a tasteful way that still honors and keeps the integrity of the original record, but also adds a new flair where you could expose, not even expose, but bridge an audience. I love, for me as a DJ, I love being able to bridge an audience, my old school audience with my new school audience. I think when a producer can really capture that in a sample, then you've done your job correctly.
I agree. But I guess what I was saying was a lot of the stuff for me when I'm hearing lazy sampling, it's because the song overall is lazy. Like you're using the same production, you're not really doing anything creatively with the subject matter. The lyrics are really boring. Like I could see that, and I think that's more so like we're not utilizing these samples in the best way. But to the point I was trying to make, like a lot of the songs that I'm hearing, like from the 90s and the 2000s and even the 80s, like samples that were flipped and turned into this whole different interpolation of the song. Like these are songs that it's literally the same exact production and it's a different song, but because the subject matter and the lyricism and everything was so much better and more developed, it sounds better. So we're not going to call it lazy sampling, even though on the sampling tip it technically is lazy because they didn't really do much to the beat, if that makes sense.
No, it definitely does. And actually, it's funny
Yeah, it does.
not to jump too forward, but not Q-Tip. Yeah, it was Q-Tip. Q-Tip talked about this. They used a documentary clip. I'm not sure if anybody's ever seen that A Tribe Called Quest documentary. I think it's still on Amazon Prime, but it came out like years ago. Like I want to say like 2010, 2011. But in the documentary, like Tip talks about their way of sampling, because in the video package, Andre 3000 said, "I always go back to the way he sampled Minnie Riperton and how I always thought it was a piano key, but really he just took one part of a note she was holding and he extended it for a whole song." So I think it's all about how you play upon what you can do with the sample. Like a song has so many different parts to it. So it's important for you as the producer to be innovative enough or even just curious enough, because fuck innovation, because part of innovation is being curious. So you have to be curious enough to go, oh, how would this sound if I just took this one part and just maybe extended it, or took this one part and maybe shortened it? Like even that is the difference between, like, to me, a producer and then someone who's just making beats. But that's my little spiel on that, on the sampling. But because I definitely do think we should get back to it with Dre and Snoop in their interview with Stephen A. Smith. Um, but yeah, Dion got inducted. Tiana Taylor did an amazing job inducting her. She wore a replica of a green dress that Dion wore when she once performed Walk On By on TV. Tiana is also playing her in a biopic that's supposed to be coming out about her, I'm sure, within the next probably year or two. So it was really dope to see them on stage together and see them interact. Dion called her alter ego, so I thought that was cute. And it's just dope to see Tiana.
Alter ego.
I love it.
They literally look like they could be related, to be honest.
No, for
I'm
real.
sure. I think I am more than positive, because it's the bone structure. The
Hmm.
bone structure, I don't think you could miss too much. Like, yeah, you could look like somebody, but there's like certain features in your family that is very like, okay, you this part of the family type thing. Their bone structure is just too on point. Like when I saw her in the green dress, I said I forgot that she was gonna be doing playing her in her movie or whatever. So I was like, damn, Tiana would really body this role. Of course, acting, is included when it comes to like, portraying a person, I believe as well too. But I feel like she could really body this role of being her. Like she just looks so much like her in such a beautiful modern way.
I agree. And I know Tiana don't play about our legends. Like if it's one thing I'm gonna always count on Tiana to do, she gonna make sure that our legends, get the flowers that they rightfully deserve. So I think she's gonna go even harder to make sure that Dion gets the flowers that she deserves. So I'm excited about that. But it was really dope just to see Tiana up there because like I know my first time meeting her was my Super Sweet 16, and to see her go from that to when she first debuted on 106 in Park and she was on Star Trek, and then that whole deal fell apart, and then she was like in the MySpace streets, and then she was hanging out with Chris Brown, and she was writing songs with him, and she was trying to find her breakthrough. Then she got good music, like just to see the transition of everything to now. My girl is on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame stage, inducted.
She got rid of that bum ass nigga. Yes, girl.
You
Yes.
see what happens when you let go of trash? It just the whole world open up for you. But yeah, that was really dope. Now I will say I don't understand why Jennifer Hudson was called to pay homage to Dionne Warwick. Y'all got the loudest person on the planet to pay homage to a woman who is known for having a very silky and smooth and soft and quiet storm. Now don't get me wrong, Dionne Warwick can belt. Like I think that's people underestimate. Dionne Warwick can belt, but she, has a certain je ne sais quoi. And I just didn't think that. No shades of Jennifer Hudson because I think Jennifer Hudson is an amazing singer and vocalist. I just didn't think she fit. When I think Dionne Warwick, she wasn't who I thought of. Like I'm gonna be honest. And then it was like a
And
really
that's perfectly fine because I agree. Jennifer, we love you, girl. We love you.
but
But
and then it was one part where so Dion came on stage with Jennifer, but there was one part where Jennifer is literally yelling at the top of her lungs. Dion can't sing the way she used to, which ain't no shade or nothing. Cause hell, if I was her age, I ain't singing the way I used to anymore either. Y'all lucky y'all done got the last 60 or 70 years from me. Like, so I wasn't mad at Dion because at some point when you reach past like 70 and you done did the shit that Dionne Warwick has done, you can go on stage and take a shit and I would clap. So like I wasn't mad at her, but I just didn't understand why Jennifer Hudson was up there yelling this woman's song. I was just like, who who set
I
this
gotta
up?
watch it. I didn't watch it yet. She was standing right next to her.
Right next to her, just
Oh, we gotta we got
I was just like,
we gotta check Miss Warwick's ears,
I said, oh,
unfortunately.
and
We
then she
have
started getting
to.
close to her. I said, now you walking closer to her, still yelling. Like,
So
I
you're threatening me. Got it.
no, really, it was like a literally a worldwide national like security threat, honestly. But much love to Jennifer. Her and Common looked very cute last night. Love that both of them performed at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Mwah, smooches.
Shout
Um,
out to Spinning the Block. It don't happen over here, but shout out to that.
Milan. It's the thumbs up. It was the thumbs up.
You're so childish.
Because I'm not playing with you today. I'm not doing it. And then what happened after Zion? It was a lot of like white people. I ain't gonna hold you, but shout out to Foreigner. They had they shit lit. Sammy Hagen came out. Had his
Hold on, Foreigner. I wanna know where love. That Foreigner.
yeah. Big Four.
Oh, chill. Listen, I know this is white people business, but I'm gonna tell y'all right now, white people really ate when they made. Well, they stole it, but they kind of ate when they dibble in their little soft rock bag. Ooh,
And
Phil
they had the Black
Collins,
Choir up there,
Foreigner.
sis.
Now I gotta watch this episode. I
That's
gotta
what
watch
I'm
this episode.
saying. They
This is
had the Black
crazy.
Choir, and guess what, sis? They had first of all, they started off the tribute to Foreigner with Demi Lovato slash, and I'm not sure how many of y'all rock bag, but Chad is the bass player for no, he's not the bass player, he the drums player for Red Hot Chili Peppers. I love Chad Smith. Shout out.
OMG. I love the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Bro,
Wow.
they had Chad up there playing the drums. They had Slash on the guitar, and Demi Lovato started off the tribute. When I tell you Demi ate that shit, I was ready to buy some Demi Lovato tickets, and I ain't never seen this woman live. I was like, oh my, nah, she ate. Then Kelly Clarkson came out for I Want to Know What Love Is with the lead singer in the Black Choir. Girl, I said,
Oh, wow.
yep. Yeah, they ate that. I had to give them they ones. I was like, not Foreigner. Uh-huh.
That is fire. And Slash, he's biracial. He's a
He is part of our
biracial
community. Part of our
girl. He is a part of our community. So we remember when Dave Chappelle, he had like the race Olympics. We accept Slash over
Oh
here for
yeah,
sure.
like we definitely saving him in the race wars. His 50% definitely come through for sure.
We're gonna trade Halsey though for Slash for sure.
Well, Slash
For
got
sure.
a full black parent. His mama is black as the fuck. Well, was it's
If
not
you have a black mama, you are black. Hello.
period.
Damn, I'm not black.
Jan, you different, okay?
Yeah, we'll give you because honestly, you don't give me white people vibes.
No. You don't give you know what it is? The colonizers don't pop out. And that's what's appreciated. You know what I'm saying? Like we like when it's relatable. It's relatable. So yes, you're 100% on this
Like
side for
Mariah
sure.
Carey got a black dad, but Mariah
Mariah
Carey is
Carey, we
hard.
take her. We
She's
take
Y'all
her.
are so funny.
We take Mariah for
Yon,
sure.
you
I don't
are
know about
Mariah
y'all.
Carey. No, Yon, for real, you're
Yes,
Mariah Carey with the curly
you're
hair.
Mariah. Yes.
Okay.
Hello. Yes. Butterfly and all. Yes.
You're definitely Mariah in the butterfly era. Boy, you can have me when you want me. That's you.
Okay.
Come
But
on.
wait,
That's
it's
my
John going,
girl.
okay. She just okay. She's like, all right, all right. No, you really gotta. Oh, you gotta do a butterfly era theme photo shoot now.
I literally have a big ass butterfly on the side of my neck too. It's funny.
Yeah, we gonna set that up. We gonna set that up because now we know you Mariah the group. Now we know. We done figured.
Me and Mariah
Go
go back
like
like
warriors.
I have a song for
Um,
everything.
and so yeah, Foreigner got inducted. Who else got inducted before some more black people? Jimmy Buffett. I didn't even know that man had died, but shout out to Jimmy Buffett because we got Margaritaville because of him. So shout out to Jimmy.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he created Margaritaville. So shout out to Jimmy. And then we got a Tribe Called Quest. Now, my little hip hop loving heart. I like when they said they were getting inducted. Obviously, I was excited, but to have Dave Chappelle come on stage and to induct them, and to just see Ali wasn't there, but his sister was there. But to see Jerobi, to see Fife's family, to see Q-Tip, to see Ali's sister, like I think it actually made me think about hip hop in a different perspective, right? Because I remember last year when hip hop turned 50, everybody was, freaking out about, oh, we haven't had a hip hop album, da 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 da. And I remember a lot of like people were writing op eds about how like basically hip hop was going through a midlife crisis. And I actually think that's interesting, right? Because I don't think we look at time of genres in the same way we look as the age of people, which is weird because I think we should. Um, 50 is not a old age. 50, you haven't even, in my opinion, really understood what life is all about. Now, for some people, they have, but I think 50, you're still pretty young. And if the inception, so the birth of hip hop is, let's just say, back when it started in 70, yeah, 73, right? Yeah. So if that's where we're saying the inception of hip hop started, by the time A Tribe Called Quest comes into the picture, which is the early 90s, it's only 20 years old. So think back to who you were at 20 years old. Did you have the answers to life? Did you really know what you were doing? Did you really, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're still young and figuring it out. And Q-Tip said in the archival footage that they showed, we didn't realize what we were doing because we were just young and doing shit. Like, we didn't realize we were doing what y'all said we did. We were just doing it. And I think that's really important when we talk about hip hop, is that I think sometimes we judge it too harshly without understanding a lot of this is still young. Like, A Tribe Called Quest only came out over like 30 years ago. 30 is young. I'm 28. So it's like, this isn't like something that's like super,
Sincerely.
you know what I'm saying? It's not something that's super old. This is something that's still new. Like, so even in 90, I think it was 92 they came out, 91. Don't correct me on that. Yes, I am a journalist. No, I'm not fact checking it. You fact check it. But I think for them to come out in the early 90s, like they were still at the cusp of like something new. Like,
I agree. A lot of the hip hop acts were 19, 18, 17,
Mhm.
15. Like they were young as F. Like they definite. So your theory of that, like I agree with that. Like hip hop is still very much so a young man's game. I know people love to say it's a not a young man's game. Is I say young in the sense of hip hop itself is still young. So for me, it's still a young man's game, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like just because of how it literally started. We're not talking about like, oh, hip hop been around for 100 years, 200 years. Like, no, it just turned 50. And if we really backtrack the ages of when some of the people who are the pioneers of it started out, they also were babies. So I agree with that 1,000%.
Yeah.
I think this also plays into the conversation we were having with Mouse last week
Mm.
about the concept of a superstar and the difference between today's quote unquote superstars to yesterday's superstars, and how we tend to kind of diminish the type of moments that we're having in the culture because they don't feel as big as the moments that we grew up on. But when we look back on them in 20 years, we probably gonna be like, damn, we didn't even realize what we was doing, but this shit is kind of crazy too. It's just impactful in a different way. Like I don't think that they're comparable to the moments that we had growing up, but I do feel like we are gonna look back on the time now and really have to take a real look at like, oh, we was really doing some wild shit within the culture as far as moments we were making across social media and all types of shit, even though it's not the same.
And
I
it,
agree because I'm gonna say to be honest with you, I think one of the sectors of hip hop that is gonna be talked about. Listen, nobody beat me up when I say this, but it's just my theory. I think drill music and sexy drill and all that is gonna be talked about. I really do. Not that it. I don't want to say that it's not impactful, but it does have a placement in hip hop. You get what I mean? Like Chicago drill, New York drill, freaking UK drill. Like I think that's something that is also very new, just like hip hop itself was new. And I think that's something that's going to be spoken about. Now, the artists themselves, I don't really see it happening. Of course, the pioneers who definitely paved the way in it are going to be spoken about, but things like that, for an example, just as an example, I think are what we're going to be speaking about, the impact of it in like 20 years and how it contributed to hip hop, just in my personal opinion.
no, I agree. And like I think what you said about how hip hop is still a young man sport. No, I agree. Like it is still a young man sport. Like I think maybe because like Jan was saying, we compare it like, oh well, those moments aren't as big as that moment. But the first time you do something, it's not gonna be how it was. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the second time, the third time, the fourth time. That's the whole point. That's why we challenge innovation. That's why we say we have to get better. We have to learn the boundaries of what hip hop can and can't be. Like I know there's this country song I heard the other day that like samples Usher, and like everybody's been talking about how like country is starting to tap into hip hop and R&B, and almost like hip hop is becoming a subgenre. But that's what happens when you become long, when a genre is long enough to sustain, other people are going to want to use it in what they're doing. Like think how dope that is, that at one point hip hop was the mainstream genre that had to use country, and now it's flipped and country is the mainstream genre that needs to use us. Like I think that's so crazy. Or even
I
how
love when Kia drop facts like that. I fucking
stop
love when she drop facts like that. Like,
stop
what?
stop.
Do you
No,
niggas
because
know this?
no, because even last night Tip was talking about like Andre 3000 was in one of was in the video tribute that they gave to him, and he was like, when we talk about John Coltrane, when we talk about James Brown, we're going to talk about A Tribe Called Quest. He said there's just certain benchmarks in genres of music that you have to talk about. And I think the same way a lot of people discovered, because Common said this in the video package too, I discovered jazz music through A Tribe Called Quest. So think about how hip hop was borrowing from jazz, and now we have genres that have been around longer than hip hop borrowing from hip hop. If that's not fucking, like, who would have thought that hip hop would have took it that far? Y'all keep talking about the money and the business aspect. I'm thinking about the fact that a genre like country that has been around just as long as the blues in this country, which has been for decades and centuries, is now starting to take from something that was just birthed in the Bronx in the 70s. Like, come on, bro. Like, that is hip hop. That is the culture.
You wanna get far. Ah, ah, come on.
So no, like, and it was just watching Tip and watching that video package just really had me thinking about that. Like, hip hop is such a baby, and we treat it like we're almost abandoning it before it really even, like, it knows it has wings. But sometimes you got to remind it that, like, yo, you can fly. And maybe that's our job. It was always the job of the people. So why are we not giving that power back? I don't know. Maybe that's just me and my thoughts. But
Nah, you're spot on with that. I'm not gonna lie, you're spot on.
I just thought it was so dope seeing Jelly Roll standing up there rapping along to the native tongues up there rapping A Tribe Called Quest. Is that not crazy? Like, to me, there was a moment because Peter Frampton, I'm not sure how many people are familiar with Peter Frampton, but he got inducted last night as well. And Q-Tip stood up there and was like, Peter Frampton, my sister used to make me listen to your music all the time. And Peter and his daughter are like looking like, what the fuck? Like, because he's a folk rap, rock country dude, pop country dude. So the fact that, like, yo, you were listening to me, like, it's the cross generational just exchange between music. Like, that shit is so dope. And that's why seeing A Tribe Called Quest get inducted in, it meant so much because, like, we can all still remember that. We can still pinpoint that. Outside of Fife, who is no longer here with us, they're still here. Tip is still here. Just a few years ago, he was the one having Megan Thee Stallion under his arms, like, yo, I'm gonna take you around and tell everybody, like, you the next hot girl out. And he never went around looking for his credit, but the North remembers when he had Megan under his arm, like, yo, she the next one out. So it's just, I don't know. For me, it's just, I loved seeing them up there. It reminded me of all the artists that it got me excited for the future. Because think about it, like, in a couple years, people, well, first of all, Usher is already eligible to be inducted if he wanted to. I mean, not if he wanted to, if they wanted to. But, like, think about all of the acts we grew up that in the next 10 years are going to be eligible to be inducted or will be inducted in. Beyonce, or with Destiny's Child, Usher, Justin Timberlake, I don't know, Shakira. Like, there's so many different genres and artists that we grew up with that within the next 10 to 20 years, we're gonna start seeing them get inducted in. And I think that's so fire. I think that's so dope. I love that. But yeah, that was my spill on A Tribe Called Quest. And just it's impossible to talk about their impact. I mean, Tyler the Creator, Kendrick Lamar, Pharrell Williams, like, I can go on and on and on and on. Doshi, like, bro, like, the impact is so fucking real. It's so fucking just, you can smell it, you can see it, you can hear it. Andre literally said in the video package there would be no Outcast without A Tribe Called Quest, which is so crazy to think about because Outcast has their own lineage alone that is
Right.
just out of this world. So it's just amazing to see the A Tribe Called Quest family tree and to see, bro, do y'all know who is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Bro, the fucking Beatles are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And they're saying
Mm-hmm.
that A Tribe Called Quest is so influential to not just hip hop, but music that they deserve to be in the same group as the fucking Beatles and the Rolling Stones and James Brown and Michael Jackson and Tina Turner.
Was the Beatles really that good?
Oh, now you trying
I'm
to
just joking. I'm
echo.
joking. I'm
Now you
joking. I'm
trying
joking.
to
I'm
echo.
joking. I'm joking.
I mean, I ain't gonna hold you. Sergeant Pepper, that album go crazy. Y'all sleep on
I'm
Sergeant Pepper.
joking.
Y'all
Now,
sleep
because
on Sergeant Pepper.
white music very much so has a certain kind of like a certain bar about it that a lot of black music surpasses, but we gotta keep kind of catch up to it. So that's the only reason why I'd be like, okay, I hear you.
No, I agree. Like, I will say there are certain things where I'm like, but one thing about the Beatles, I will give them, like, they were, experimental at the time. They really did do certain things that, like, were new and considered groundbreaking at that time. So I gotta kind of give them their flowers. But I think just alone knowing what their name represents for mainstream media and mainstream music, the fact that a group like A Tribe Called Quest, or even an artist like Mary fucking J. Blige, is now considered a part of a group with them, bro. Like, that's iconic. Like, I don't even have the words. It's more than deserved. Like, they are rock stars. They are.
No,
Um,
they are. They are. And it kind of got me to the question of and not to cut you off, Kia, but
no, you good.
so rock and roll, because you are
Oh, please.
the historian here, right?
Here you go.
So rock and roll, right? when we speak on rock and roll and we're inducting certain acts and certain sectors of music, right? What's the question I'm trying to formulate here? Considering Mary J, she
Mhm.
would be R&B soul,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Are we putting all categories under the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame when they are inducting them? Like, what exactly is the criteria for even being considered an inductee of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? And why is it just the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
I'm actually glad that you asked that because I like telling this nerdy stuff, but I didn't know if other people wanted to hear me say this nerdy stuff. Um, so I think it all goes back to how we label music, right? Which is an interesting conversation because everybody's been talking about genres and how we define music and X, Y, and Z. So the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was created at a time when the term rock and roll, it's a rock and roll itself is like the definition has changed. The standard definition of it is just popular music from the 40s and the 50s, but it's associated with a specific type of sound which tends to borrow from African American music, which is like jazz and rhythm and blues and boogie woogie as they would call it,
Ah,
gospel.
the point I was trying to hear. Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
So even though it's called rock and roll, the affiliation is still deeply rooted in Black American Delta blues music because that's ultimately where rock and roll even comes from. The problem is, as generations come along, we now have subgenres, we now have other genres. We have pop music, we have rock music, we have country music, we have R&B, we have hip hop, and the faces of those genres reflect on how we view them. But ultimately, the term rock and roll just relates to a genre of music from the 40s and 50s that is basically borrowing from the American Delta blues, which is started by Black people. So the first crew of people that were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, because it's never just been rock artists, but I think when people think rock and roll, they think of white rock artists, not understanding that rock music is still rooted in Black people and Black music. Because I remember even when Janet Jackson got inducted, he was like, okay, but she's not a rock artist. And it's like, but she doesn't have to be because it's never been a requirement. The only requirement to be eligible for induction is that it has to be 25 years after the release of your first record. And then after that, in order for you to be inducted, you must be nominated on by a committee. And then the committee basically is like a mixture of journalists, it's a mixture of A&Rs, executives, other musicians. I know Questlove is one of the people heavily involved in the voting process. A lot of people thank him when they get inducted in because he's the one that really does pull for a lot of Black artists and younger artists to also be inducted in.
Oh,
And
so that's fire. So he was inducted and has a say so in who gets inducted.
well, Questlove hasn't been inducted yet, but because of his role just in music with the Roots, we used to know
Okay.
everybody does. They view him as almost like the way the NFL views Jay-Z.
Got you. Got you.
So they kind of use him as the guy to be like, if they're in a room and the list looking a little too white, he the one that's like, nah, we need them on this list because they're important to this genre. And this genre is still a piece of what rock and roll is.
So basically, this award is like you are an iconic musical artist and you had substantial impact on your respective genre.
Yes.
Okay.
hmm But it's just all considered the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because ultimately
Okay.
all of it is still stemming in the basic instrumentation, which is the bass, the drum, the guitar, like all of that is still the basis of music.
Okay, got you.
Blues. And if blues music is the basis to everything we have, then that means it's the basis to rock music, it's the basis to R&B. You can't erase one. If blues is the hold of it, it is what it is. Like Mary J. Blige is a soul artist, but soul comes from blues music. She follows in the footsteps of the Ma Rainey's and the Billie Holidays and everyone else that came before her who sung of pain, followed in the blues, followed in jazz. So yeah, she's rock and roll. Like if just going based off my knowledge, how they talk about it. Um, and then the candidates who actually get selected into the class, it's like the highest of the high. So basically, whoever has the highest votes, that's who actually gets inducted in that year. So that's why you'll notice some people, it takes them a really long time to get inducted in, because if they ain't seeing it for you, then unfortunately you just won't get it that year. Now, the first inducted class was in 1986, and it was Chuck Berry, James Brown, Ray Charles, Sam Cooke, Fats Domino, the Everly Brothers, Buddy Holly, Jerry Lee Lewis, Little Richard, and Elvis Presley. Most of that list is black people.
Damn, I was about to say, sheesh. Crazy.
So yeah. So, and this is why I don't understand why people care more about the Grammys than they do the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, because to me, I think the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame means way more than the Grammys. Way more. Way more.
But could it be more so because it's more, well, I mean, you do get inducted yearly, but there's more criteria. Like you could literally pop up tomorrow, make a fire song. If people think it qualifies for the Grammy, they can nominate your ass to be Grammy nominated.
Mm-hmm.
And next thing you know, if you do win, either nominated or win, regardless, like that's how easy it is versus the actual Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, where no, you had to have put in at least, like they're saying, minimum requirement is 25 plus years for you to actually, you know what I'm saying? And if
Mm-hmm.
we gonna be honest, a lot of artists, at least these artists nowadays, a lot of them ain't seeing past 5 years.
I
Sorry,
mean,
just
look at
saying.
the people that are in the second class that were inducted in, what was this, 87? You have Aretha Franklin, Marvin Gaye, BB King, Smokey Robinson, Muddy Waters, Jackie Wilson. The following year, you get the Beatles. So the Beatles weren't even inducted in the first class. They came in the third class after Aretha Franklin, after James Brown. Like, this is why, to me, I think the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame means so much more, because they highlighted the black art. Like, they were like, nah, nah, nah. Like, they set the standard. If the inducting class has James Brown in it and Little Richard in it, hell yeah, black music is rock and roll. The fuck? Like, so yeah.
I agree with that. Thank you. This educational point was brought to you by Kia, the historian, as she is very knowledgeable because she's a journalist and she knows what the fuck she's
Oh my
talking
God.
about.
No, it's just that I think it's important for people to know these things, because every year everybody's having conversations about the Grammys. And I'm like, I don't think y'all understand. There's actual organizations out there that you would want to be not like in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That shit can't nobody take that shit away from you. You in a group with like super elite respected musicians. Like,
Yeah, that's a fact. Even what's the other awards that they say? It's not like televised or something, but I think you make money from them. Something like, damn, I think when an artist goes diamond or some shit like that,
oh,
like
when you get
it's
certified by the RIAA.
yeah, like the certifications are even worth more than honestly being Grammy nominated or even Grammy winning. To be honest, they say.
No, it is. Imagine you can say like, "Yo, I got 3 diamond plaques." The fuck wrong with you? You got
Mm-hmm.
3 diamond plaques? Oh, you selling albums? Like, you know what I'm saying?
So 3 diamond plaques would be better than 10 Grammy winning awards?
It depends.
Question mark.
It depends on who that artist is. For me, if I had, because I know the Grammys is technically your peers voting for you, which is kind of
Mm-hmm.
the same concept as Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The only difference is Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, you got to have some years. You got to have years in. You got to have like 20, 25 years in. 25 exact to be exact. You got to have those years in. Um but it depends on the artist.
I was gonna say, I just feel like it's subjective
Yeah.
because I just feel like to a younger artist, I'm not gonna care about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in my second and third year of being an artist because I have so much of a ways to go before that even matters.
Yeah.
That's true.
But then you
Yeah.
have some artists that come in the game, and that's probably not the end goal, but things like that, or that idea of being that type of legend or icon, they step in the game with it. Like, you can't tell me Beyonce didn't come in the game and was thinking, I just want to win a whole bunch of Grammys. Like, nah, I'm pretty sure she was thinking, yeah, I want to be inducted into something cool too. Like, you have those artists that they step into the game knowing who they want to be, or maybe they don't. And then, like a Tyler the Creator, along the way, they find who they want to be. But I think it just is all up to the artist and how time really affects them, honestly.
That's true. I feel that. I definitely, from that perspective, I would say if I, as an artist, the legacy act would be to be inducted. Because at least I know for a fact that I put in 25 years. I have impact within those 25 years. My peers see me for real, for real. You know what I mean? Like there's a different kind of respect when it comes to that. And just in my personal opinion, it's like, damn, girl, you done did your shit for real, for real. Now you are a part of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
And that's why I would say if I was an artist, it would mean more to me, because to me that first of all, I want to be clear. A lot of some of these artists that were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, they weren't famous or in music for the full 25 years. Like the Ronettes, who made the song Be My Baby, after like a couple years, like they stopped making music completely. But because they are so iconic in the sense of that song and the music that they made with Phil Spector's murdering ass, um the music that they made with him is so impactful and popular music that they have to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, because you don't get modern popular music and girl group music without the Ronettes. So you do have situations like that where a lot of doo-wop groups, a lot of like groups that maybe they came out in a time where you had a lot of one-hit wonders, they get inducted in. But also think about the music that they made. Like that shit really is a blueprint for what we now have. So there are some cases where the artist isn't necessarily outside that full 25 years, but the music they made is outside that full 25 years. So it all goes back to the quality of the music that's being made. Because if
I
you are
was literally about to say
because
that.
if you a real one, you could get the diamond certifications, the Grammys, and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You don't have to be limited, but it depends on what people want. But what do I know? I'm just the bitch that makes the biscuits, guys.
Yo, shut.
The bitch that makes the biscuits. And then wrapping up our Rock and Roll Hall of Fame convo, Mary the motherfucking J. Blige was also inducted in last night. Um,
Go
that
ahead, Kia. Get your song off. Go ahead.
I'm gonna give my speech after her, and then I'm gonna sing my tribute to her before we go into the next topics, because I want to
All right.
wrap up how she should have wrapped up her performance. Um,
Oh boy.
Well, please, please. No, I'm serious, please. So Dr. Dre and Method Man inducted her into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I wasn't mad because I think both of them make sense. Method Man produced Family Affair, which was a very, very big hit for her. She also won her first Emmy Award because of the Super Bowl performance she did with Dr. Dre. Can't be mad at that. And then her and Method Man,
Wait, she won an Emmy?
yes, she did win an Emmy. They won an Emmy for their performance. Yep. Mm-hmm.
What? That's fucking fire. I did not know that.
Yes, Miss Mary has an Emmy, child. From her,
So, oh wait, is she close to an EGOT now?
all she needs is a Tony and an Oscar. And she was nominated for an
Okay.
Oscar, but I forgot who she lost to. But she was nominated for an Oscar recently, like about a year or two ago.
That's fire. I didn't know that.
Yeah, for Mud. I forgot. I think it was called Mud. It was Mud something. I forgot, but it was like one of those like an old timey film. But it was really good. I did see it. I saw it at one of like the indie movie theaters or whatever. But it was good. Um, But yes, Miss Mary got inducted by Method and Dre. Method Man, she won her first Grammy with. So again, and they have a very long standing relationship. So I understood both of those men being inducted. What made me feel sad was that the real man who needed to induct her, which is Andre Harrell, because I knew what y'all thought I was going to say. The real man who needed to induct her, Andre Harrell, unfortunately passed away some years ago. So that was a little bit of a like oh moment for me, because we know how much he talked about Mary and Uptown Records and how he wanted her to be the queen of hip hop soul with a ghetto fabulous aesthetic. And I think if he knew this was going to happen for her, because he spoke this into her life. But I think that's so dope when you have a mentor like that who spoke life over you, and even in his passing you've still been able to reach the heights that he knew you would. He always said that Mary would be the person that was going to sing for princes and princesses and presidents and queens and kings. And he's right. Like she really did go on to do all the things that he said she would do. And we all know Mary's story. We ain't even got to get into it. We all know what she's been through. So I think to see her up there And to know that she's gonna be in a group with women like Aretha fucking Franklin, it's just like, man, Mary. I mean, talk about a fucking legend,
A legacy.
a
Yeah.
legacy.
That is a legacy with some legend ass boots. Come on, man. I'm about to get me them boots now just cause
Bro,
I gotta
I wish I
represent.
would have had the bread to get them Giuseppe boots when they came out, because them shits was fire. Oh my,
I gotta find a way. Where the scammers at? Hello? Hit us in the
where the
DM.
boosters at? Where the boosters at?
Holidays is coming up. You know what to do.
Y'all better get in them stores. Y'all better get in them stores and get on them streets, because I need some stuff. But yeah, that was basically my little rock and roll Hall of Fame. Oh no, and Norman Whitfield. It was two more people that I forgot. Norman Whitfield. I'm not sure how many people familiar with Norman Whitfield, but he wrote "Papa Was a Rolling Stone." He wrote "Heard It Through the Grapevine" for Gladys Knight and the Pips and Marvin Gaye. He's written so many iconic songs for like the Motown generation. He was inducted in, and then Suzanne DePass was also inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Also, not sure how many people are familiar with her. She was Berry Gordy's assistant, and then she became the president of the company. She is the person that signed the Jackson 5 to Motown. Like, nobody else. She did it.
So if y'all ever watched the Jackson 5,
Yes.
was it the American Dream?
Mm-hmm. That's
Um
Vanessa Williams play. Mm-hmm.
Vanessa Williams, that's her.
Yep.
Yes.
And
You will see it because the holidays is coming up and they plan to rerun that like
girl, they got
nobody's
that on Tubi
tomorrow.
right now.
Oh, Tubi, I'm finna watch that. Wow.
First of all, Tubi be having all the fucking movies. Like I
No lie,
slept
they
on
do.
Tubi, but they be having all the classics now.
I was
Nah,
trying to
Tubi
tell
got,
you that they got a good balance of some real ghetto hood shit and
Yeah.
some
and they
good
got the
other
Temptations on.
movies.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what?
Yes,
Oh,
bro.
so
They got the
they're like the
Temptations. They got the Jack. They got all of that shit on there, bro. Like they got the TV shows. I be watching Long Lost Family or Long Lost Sibling or some shit like that. Now they be having to work on it.
nah, because I love me a good bio. Like the Jackson 5, Tina
Iconic.
Turner story. Um who
The
else
Tina
was
Turner
a
story, I think they just put that on there the other day.
who else had a good one
Ray
too?
Charles
Jackson
had a good
5,
biopic
Tina,
with
Ray Charles.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, like that's fire, y'all. We're gonna have a family watch party one day for y'all. We're gonna watch all the good black ass shows, okay?
That would actually be fun to do. Like, I'm not gonna hold you. I would dead ass watch all 98 hours of the Jacksons and American Dream with y'all. I ain't even gonna hold y'all. I would.
I would too, and I would come dressed up. All right, that's we gonna plan it, y'all. We gonna plan it. Just make sure when we put the RSVP out, y'all just RSVP and pop up. Okay, we're gonna figure out if we're gonna do it in Jersey or we gonna do it in Brooklyn. Either way, it's gonna happen. Thank you.
And I'm coming dressed up like Katherine Jackson when she told Joseph to go to bed.
Go
Yo,
to
you are
bed.
so funny.
That's not.
Go to bed,
That is
Joseph.
my.
Not go to bed,
that is
Joseph.
that is my part. And the other part where she called him, she's like, I don't want you. I don't
No,
want you. I don't
I don't
want you no
want you.
more.
I don't want you. I don't want you. Use a lie and use a cheat.
Cheat. Nah, give her tens. This woman is a actress. Okay, she played Tina Turner and she played Mama Jackson. Come on.
That's iconic. That's iconic. For real, for real. But yeah, Suzanne DePass is a fucking legend. She signed the Jackson 5. That's enough. But no, she went on and did more. She wrote the screenplay for Diana Ross's Lady Sings the Blues. She's the first woman to ever be nominated for an Oscar for Best Written Screenplay. Yes, a black woman. Um, what else? She also produced Motown 25. Hello, give it up for a black woman producing one of the most iconic TV specials of all time where Michael moonwalked. Hello. And she's
Legendary
the one
shit.
that talked to Berry Gordy to convince him to convince Michael to perform. Shout out to that. Um she also had her own TV company that gave us shows like Sister Sister, like hello. Um, but yes, Suzanne DePass is somebody that I always admire. She really is my blueprint, like who I always wanted to be like. Like if I even got 5 minutes with that woman, I think I would pass out because her legacy alone, her name doesn't get spoken up as much as like other women in media, but she's the reason we have women like a Issa Rae. The door don't open without her. Like she dead ass knocked on that shit first. Um, and I love Susan, and I'm so glad she's still around. And if you go see the new Michael Jackson biopic coming out next year, Laura Harrier, I think that's how you pronounce her last name. Um, The really pretty girl. Y'all know who I'm talking about. But her name is Laura. But last name I think is Harrier or something like that. She's playing Suzanne in the Michael biopic. So the fact that she's still being spoken in Michael's stories is just like, yes, exactly. Legend. And yeah, that's my Rock and Roll Hall of Fame wrap up. Girls.
Pum, 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 pum. Shout out to you, Kia. You did an amazing thread. If you guys haven't already checked out the thread, I put it up here in this little whatever this thing is supposed to be. Yeah, I could go check it out. Definitely on the Reasonable Dialogue page. Make sure you follow, stay alert, and all that good stuff. Because she really did her thing when it came to this thread. Because you know what I'm saying? We giving y'all education on a good Sunday. Hello.
Period. I love how when we come in here, it's almost like a course. It's like coursework in music. And I feel like this is so important because we are essentially teaching legacy. And I feel like that's what a lot of um, artists and the music community is missing. Just the understanding of the foundation and what a lot of this shit means to the culture rather than just numbers and bullshit that don't even really mean anything.
No, I agree. Like, and thank you guys for letting me get my little music nerd shit off on the page. Cause I was like, do I
Girl, we
want
love
to?
it.
But no, like it was a lot of fun, and I think it's important to know these things because if you don't say their names, oh, and Big Mama Thornton, damn, how could I fucking forget Big Mama Thornton? I'm sorry, I'm not getting off this topic without Big Mama Thornton. Big Mama Thornton was also inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame last night. If you don't know who Big Mama Thornton is, I really want you to just exit off this. No, I'm joking. No, I'm really no. I mean, I'm not, but I am. But I'm not, but I am. Um, Big Mama Thornton is so important to rock music because people call Elvis the king of rock and roll, but his one of his biggest hits is her song. I put in the thread a thread that I had made where I had broke down to people why it's such a contentious history over Hound Dog. But long story short, these two white guys, Jerry Lieber, and I forgot the other guy's name, but it's in the thread. They wrote Hound Dog for Big Mama Thornton, and they specifically wrote it for her because at the time there were a lot of comedians like Moms Mabley and other black women who kind of had this like I don't want to call it like a act, but it was kind of like this act of like almost like a Medea, but not so much like a joke or a parody. It was like just a Southern woman who like ain't take no shit. It was kind of like a shtick, basically. And they wrote the song for her, and it was supposed to be like a blues song that was very sassy and had a lot of humor to it. The song came out, and it was a moderate success. Um, and then Elvis remade the song, but the problem was nobody could figure out who exactly actually wrote the song. And then who did the song actually belong to? So Big Mama Thornton only got paid $500 in total ever for that song. That's all that she ever received from Hound Dog. Um, at first, none of them got paid, but then when they took it to court the first time, Big Mama Thornton got $500. That's all she ever received from it in her lifetime. I don't even think she's received anything after her lifetime. And the boys who wrote the song, the two white guys that wrote the song, they actually started recouping money from Elvis's cover of the song. But Elvis's cover of the song was a cover of the song. Basically, there was a white band who did a cover of the song, but they made a mockery out of it, and Elvis did a remake of their cover. So naturally, Elvis just did a remake of a parody. Like he basically took a joke and he made it a real song, and it became a huge hit.
So white people doing white people shit, basically.
Yep.
Like the Beach Boys, the whole, what movie was that? Dream Girls. Remember Dream Girls? And they showed us everything of how they was singing songs, and then the whites and was coming through stealing the songs and putting it
Mhm.
on the dance shows and
Mhm.
oh
Yep.
gosh,
Yeah,
white
that's
people.
exactly what happened. Yep. Um, and unfortunately, Big Mama Thornton never really got her credit for it. Hound Dog is actually one of the most litigated songs in music history. Um, it's like over 20 lawsuits that have been filed over that one song. Mainly again because they can never figure out who deserves the right credit for writing the song, and then who does the song actually belong to. Nobody kind of really knows. Um, But yeah, so it's important that we speak the name of women like Big Mama Thornton because she is a pioneer in rock and roll, but she was damn near erased from her own story. So yeah.
Which would then give me the theory that maybe Beyonce's next album is a rock album because so far everything she's been doing has been paying tribute to the black pioneers of music. And I do believe that maybe this is one of those ones. Just a theory.
I'm sorry if you guys have been requesting and it's been like, oh, sorry.
Yo, I don't know what is happening with the request. I'm so glad you said that because this is like the third person that has requested a mic and I accepted and then
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
okay.
know. It's like it's
Here.
not working. I don't know what's wrong with it.
Yeah, so if you wanted to come up here and say something, please request again. We're not ignoring you or anything. It's just being mad, like glitchy and weird. Um,
Oh, I thought it was me first. That's why I was like, I'm not gonna
No.
accept anybody because I thought that it was glitching or something like that on my end, but I'm glad you
It
said that.
was.
mm-mm.
Okay.
No, it was just I don't know. It was something with the app because even with me, I tried to like bring some people up and it was being mad weird.
And earlier your friend Chase was here too, and I think
Yeah, I
he
know. And I
requested.
accepted him and then it wasn't letting him do anything. So I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're sorry, guys. Sometimes Elon be fucking with us. But I think that's
You pasty white bitch. Okay.
okay. Not your white bitch. But I think that's okay. I really think I'm done with rock and roll. Like me personally, I went through the thread. But if I missed something, it's in the thread. But yes, we have some folks up here. Hey y'all, what's up? What y'all want to say? Say y'all name and say y'all piece. Yeah.
The only thing I wanted to say was thank you for like revisiting the conversation of like all of the black exploitation in music. Did I say that word right? Black exploitation. I don't know. I'm
Yes.
high, but thank you for bringing it up because it kind of trigger like I'm one of those people that have a selective memory. So you bringing up what was going on. Funny story is the conversation of me learning about all of this, about how black artists was exploited, like a Big Mama Thornton and all that stuff. I found out about that, and y'all would never guess how, but I was watching Bring It On with my grandmama. I was watching Bring It On with my grandmama, and because we got into like this whole tit for tat over them, of course, stealing like their cheers and whatever, she went on this whole tangent of like, that's nothing new. They've been doing it since such and such and such. And then she started going off like her favorite songs and her favorite people and stuff like that. And just just one of those like if you knew you knew, but y'all young kids don't know shit. So it was just refreshing because that kind of triggered like a memory of my grandma.
Shout out to
I
Nick.
love that. And
Me
I
too.
love that y'all was watching Bring It On bonding together. That is
Mm.
very
That's
beautiful.
why I say if you guys have like grandparents or like older people, talk to them. It could be like any like just random as that like us watching a Bring It On movie and I just learned so much music history just in that one conversation. So it's like just hang out with your folks, people, please. I know some of them can be annoying, but just hang out with them because they really do have knowledge. And unless we have like many moments like this, that's how the real recipes get lost.
I agree 1,000%.
Thanks, Al, for coming through and saying that. And thank you for sharing that memory of your Nana. I know how much she meant to you. So thank you. I appreciate that, friend. Who's next? Y'all came up here and
Hello, hello.
y'all
Hey
hello.
friend.
Hi, I'm Jason, and I'm supposed to say where I'm from, right?
If you
You
want
can if you
to.
want to.
Oh, I'm from Jersey, you know.
Oh, Big
No,
Jersey. Where you
Jersey.
from?
Hey, hey, I'm from Central Jersey, right in Somerset,
Oh,
Feel
right
you
in
like
right
y'all
between.
jumping
there.
me. I
You
feel
right.
like y'all
Oh,
jumping me.
Oh,
oh,
I also just want
wait,
to
because I think I'm
I want to
remembering this.
emphasize Central Jersey because a lot of y'all try to act like it's North and South and Central doesn't exist, but I want to make
SZA
it real
certified
motherfucking
us.
clear
SZA
that
definitely certified us.
that
She
we
said
live in
that.
Central Jersey. Thank you very much. I appreciate
Yup,
you.
yup.
y'all, that's
But,
so personal.
ooh, but I just,
Listen, they be trying to put me in a Philly box, and it's like, sweetheart, I'm not from nobody's Philadelphia. I'm from
nope, she
Central New
right there on the
Jersey.
cusp.
Okay.
I validate it. That's my girl. But I wanted to come on here and add on to what you said earlier about a tribe called Quest. Fun fact for me, before I got into R&B really heavy, my mom, all she listened to was 80s. She's class of 84 high school. So Colonel Abrams, Tina Marie, all of them. It caused me to get into boom bap. and I really got into conscious rap. And the boys that wasn't too thugged out. That's how my mom liked to describe me. She's like, you're not giving Tupac, but like you're giving a Tribe Called Quest and De La Soul, and that's how I got into native tongues and so on and so forth. And that was actually my burrow into how I got into neo soul, which birthed my love for R&B. So it's nice to know that, like, highlighting how hip hop really is how it can be the branch for jazz in the beginning, because once I was talking to my boyfriend about it, he's like the opposite. It was jazz and the boom bap. I was boom bap into R&B. So it was really just touching to hear how Rock and Roll Hall of Fame really just brought that community together. And I'm a big Tribe Called Quest stan. So I love just tapping into how influential not only Q-Tip is, but all the members as a whole. I remember how I'm really a beat production first, lyrics later. That kind of changed now, but Five Dog was really one of the people I like hopped into first when it came to really touching into everything. And then believe it or not, that's actually how I got into Mary, because it was just like some weird connection where he kept bringing up Dawn from En Vogue. And I was like, why is he talking about the 90s girls like that? So that's how it got me into Mary, because it was just like one pipeline to the other. So it was just really nice to hear that highlighted. Um, Also, other than that, I'm like, to give you some R&B stretch, I'm like 2014 down. So Tiana Taylor, she's gonna body that Dionne Warwick biopic. I'm not even gonna be biased with it. I just know that, like she said, that's her alter ego. Tiana Taylor's just gonna emulate something so different. And for me, I've always thought Tiana Taylor had the most sultriest voice of the girls that came out from 2014. Because her peers is FKA Twigs, Tinashe. When y'all think 2014, really think like the contemporary R&B girls was on a rise. So I just know that, like we said, Tiana gonna give her respect, but also I know her approach is gonna be something that I've been waiting for since chapter 7. So yeah, I just wanted to add on to that. Yeah, love y'all.
I agree. I agree, high key, and I agree with that take. I think beyond Biana, Tiana, Tiana's Biana is crazy. Tiana's tone for me, I love. Like when I say that deep, raspy tone. Like, girl, she turned me on with that shit. Like, nah, she really has like, for me, one of the best tones. Like, as an R&B singer, I love, love, love Tiana's singing voice.
Yeah, and well, one, yeah, Tiana is just, she's amazing. Like, I understand, like, I know when people were upset when she retired from music, but I was like, that girl's still gonna be great, whatever she do. Um,
Devastated is not even the word. Oh
I
my
know, but
god.
I just knew, like, she's one of those people that they're so talented at so many different things that even if they decide they don't want to do one thing no more, I know it's something else that they're still going to keep me entertained by. Like, I know when I see Tiana, no matter what it is, she gonna give me a good show, whether it's a movie, like whatever. She gonna do her thing. So,
Especially with her coming from the Lorianne Gibson era, as I like to say.
hmm
I know her values for production are still like A&R, not A&R, artist development down, like really giving the patience. Like when she did that sit down with Little Baby for his tour, I was like, oh yeah, she's locked and loaded, period. Because she was hungry to make sure that everybody else saw what she saw. Her eye is just different, even from her own music videos. Even when I watched her do Queen Niger's video for Love Language, I was like, this is the beginning and it's already so well thought out. Everything isn't a mood board anymore with her. Like she's been growing.
I think with all
She's
that
been,
said,
yeah, God.
though, it's so unfortunate that her legacy, as far as like as an artist, was not bigger. Um, because I just feel like she just was so underappreciated, and I really to this day cannot understand why, considering all the different facets of her talent. I don't know. I just wish that we appreciated her more and gave her things when she was pursuing them in full. Because I don't like you compare her to some of the artists out now, and it's just like I just really don't understand why we did not push her to the forefront in a bigger way.
Honestly, I would say it had a lot to do with her surroundings and her team. I'm gonna be real honest. I feel like because I remember watching this interview. I think it was with Angie Martinez. She doesn't blame Pharrell, of course, for anything. Like she's always looked at him as like, an important figure in her life. But she was very honest about how she felt about their relationship. And, I feel like the men around her failed her, to be completely honest. They failed her, especially Kanye West. Like we seen with our own eyes that entire debacle that happened with her rollout. And when she came out and said what she said about it, like, it was exactly what I thought it was. Like, them niggas fucked her over because they did not see the value in her, which is sad because Tiana to me is what an artist is. She's a singer, she's a dancer, she will rap, she will act. Like, she has embodied all sectors of what it is to be a true artist, just in my personal opinion. And the girl can really perform her ass off. Like, I remember seeing her one time perform, and I was like, yo, Tiana, you are a fucking beast, bitch. Like, it don't even make no sense how good you truly are. But it also breaks my heart that you don't get as much recognition as you truly do deserve. But I do want to say that I contribute that to her team and the people she's been around, because having that much light, that much fire, you have to have the right people around you to keep fanning that fire, to keep making it burn. And unfortunately, I don't think she had the right people until she started like separating herself and going her own way, which I will say, the whole retirement thing, I didn't really consider her retiring. I figured it was artist frustration. Like, people are not hearing me. Y'all not listening to me. Y'all keep holding me back. Fuck this shit. I don't feel appreciated because my team is not doing what needs to be done to push me forward. So of course the people don't know what I have going on. I don't have a proper rollout. I don't have proper marketing. I don't have proper promotions. And let's be honest, like, anybody who's an independent artist, you know how expensive it is to invest in yourself. So when you have a team behind you that's not even doing what they're supposed to be doing, that shit could be probably 10 times as worse for you. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you already came at such a high light and then you kind of are experiencing the lows, which I feel like happened to her, and it kind of made her jaded in a way in her mind frame. But I do appreciate her taking a step back. For me, I never thought she retired. I thought it was just her having, a mental breakdown, which rightfully so. She had every reason to do it. And now, considering the facts of her marriage and everything that came out, she had a lot of different fucked up factors that really affected the artistry. But I think now that the smoke is finally cleared from everything, I think we're going to see a new era of Miss Taylor, which she should definitely put a project out. I'm not going to hold you. But I think we're going to see a new era where we're going to see the actress, we're going to see the performer, we're going to see the director, because she has her own production company with I think it's called Aunties or something like that. But the production, like the whole artist development, like, I'm not going to lie, when she got with Lotto, I swear to you, Lotto became a better performer. Ain't no
So
cap
fire. Yeah, I
in my
agree with
rap.
that.
She became
100%.
a better performer. And then she started taking other artists up under her wing. Like when Summer Walker. Now y'all know when y'all saw that final performance from Summer Walker after Tiana got a hold on her, Summer looked like she knew what the fuck she came here to do. And I was like, Tiana, this is your bag. But I'll close my argument with saying that I don't think it was 100%, not even 50% her fault of why the trajectory of Tiana Taylor, I don't want to say decline, but she didn't really get that super light that she deserved.
I don't know, I think it's dope though, because it's like just now hearing you lay all of that out. Obviously, I knew this stuff, but hearing it laid out for me again, I just feel like some people are put on this earth to teach and guide rather than be at the forefront. And as we've seen the different cases that she's put forth as far as like Summer Walker, Lotto, like I just feel like her impact on other artists is probably going to be much bigger than whatever her impact for herself would ever be musically in particular. Like I'm sure with acting and everything, that's a whole different bag. But as far as music goes, I would really love to see her get a lot more of these artists under her wing, and just have like a whole era, because to your point, like the changes in their performances were so drastic that it's hard to ignore.
Um, I was gonna say she probably need to just master like the climate of how it works today. Cause like I say this, like I think that's one of the things that like Tinashe did to set herself apart. Cause I would consider them a part of the same era. Like Tinashe's been around forever, but like she keeps popping up with
Mm.
moments, and then she goes away, or not even goes away, but like she gets a little quiet, and then she pops in with another moment, and then like I think that's the stark difference in between the artist that Tiana Taylor is because like she used to like having these grandiose rollouts and like she knows what it's like or has the experience of like having like y'all keep saying artist development. But I think the keys of like successful artists today is being able to move and create moments without like not saying without artist development, but with that like make moves that are not reliant on artist development to then build buzz and use the artist development stuff that you have behind you to push further. Because I think that's like Beyonce, we know Beyonce is like old artist development, all of that stuff. But I think what she did with Renaissance was very unique and that she used the moment that she created for herself. She popped back out, and then she used all of that momentum to kind of push her to everything else that's been going on. And I think that's something that Tiana Taylor hasn't exactly done um, very successfully throughout her career. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't remember like key moments that involved music from her that kind of like broke through the void, if that makes sense, especially around that time. Because I'll bring up 2014. Like 2014 is the rise of like real like let's just be real like that's Atlanta's height. That's when like a bunch of this weird shit starts popping through in terms of hip hop. That's a bunch of a time period in which like trap really starts to set the standard for what starts to go on and like things start slowing down. There aren't upbeat records. Like there's a lot of stuff going on in that time period. And so like I think that kind of like affected her as well as her team situation. Because I'm gonna be honest, I don't think Kanye really does well with artists in general, and to a certain extent, I don't think Pharrell does either. I think there are points in their life where they're just certified hit makers, so you gotta come into that situation, kind of with something in order to benefit from that situation. Because I don't really think a lot of like younger artists kind of benefit the same way from working with them as they might have like years ago. But that's my little take on it.
I actually agree with what you said because I've had this critique of Pharrell before and Kanye, where I feel like sometimes not all artists are meant to be executives. Not all artists are meant to be
Who shake the table,
A&Rs.
please?
I'm just saying it's the truth. Not every artist needs to have their own label with their own artist. It's just not,
We gonna
sometimes
throw Beyonce in that
I
category
mean
too.
it's
I love you, B. I love
I
you. I
agree. I
love
it's the
you.
completely
But let's be
truth
agree.
real.
because some people know how to fight for themselves and fight for their own creativity and have their own team and ingenuity and figure that out, but they don't know how to really help other artists do the same. And I feel like it does a disservice to them because they're really clinging on to what you've done for yourself and thinking you're going to do it for them, when in actuality you don't even know how to do it for them because you've been your only case study. So if you've only ever done that for yourself, how the hell you gonna know how to do that for somebody else? So
I want
I
to
agree
add
with
something
you.
too.
It's
Some
Sunday.
people are
Where's the
selfish.
collection plate? Where's the collection
Some people.
plate?
I was gonna say I want to add something to that because like you said, that's a good point too. Like some artists are good as executives. I mean, aren't good as executives because some of these artists are very selfish. Like being very real. Like I love Kanye
So,
up until a
lol.
certain point. But like we can be very honest and real about the fact that like after a certain point, Kanye West, his future sounds come from somewhere else, and they end up coming from an artist that ends up like breaking through later on. But like that's not him. You know what I'm saying? Like we know what Kanye West's bread and butter is, what his best sounds are, and we also know like what sounds good that he may make. We also know that we see a bunch of young cats that we've never heard of in our fucking lives, or people we will come to know later on in our lives as being some of the blueprint for that. And so like I just think that's a very like you hit that like spot on, right? Like you really hit that spot on what you said.
I think to close it out to like bring it back to Tiana
We
Taylor,
got some new people on the stage.
I would love I would love
Can y'all
nothing
hear?
more for her to
Or is that
career.
me?
Wait, can y'all hear me? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. I don't think Milan can hear you.
Oh, okay.
No, who's talking?
Al.
Oh, I can't hear Al.
It's okay.
Is it
Hopefully
just me? I can't hear him?
Nah, it might be because I can hear him.
Okay, I'm about to leave and come back then. My bad, Al. Keep talking though.
You're fine. Only thing I was gonna say to bring it back to Tiana, I would love nothing more from her to transition from where she is to like a gatekeeper role for the new generation as like the decades progress and we talk about separating how superstars are made in like culture today or in culture tomorrow or so. I would love nothing more. And not saying like there aren't gatekeepers that I don't trust with their stampings, but I would love to see her to be one of those that we watch in real time rise to the cream of the crop to be one of those gatekeepers for the new kids.
No, I agree. I'm sorry, I was getting my dog ready so she could get walked, but no, I agree 100%. Like, I think Tiana is one of the people. Tiana, Tyler the Creator. There's certain ones that, like, when it comes to those next generation of quote unquote gatekeepers or just people of the culture, like, those are the ones that I actually wouldn't mind. Like, yo, if you want to oversee this shit, I feel like you're going to see it with like a clear vision. You know what I'm saying? But I think for a lot of artists, that whole, oh, I'm a producer, but I'm an executive. Oh, I'm an artist, but I own my own label. That whole thing, it never really works because you're never really able to, like, you can't. Oh, wait, I had a whole brain fart because I'm high. But like, yeah, you can't like replicate what you've done for yourself for other people when you've never tried it on anyone else but yourself.
Yeah.
And it holds a lot of artists back. Wait, Jan, can you make Milana a co-host today?
Is it
I
controversial to
I
say
invited her to be a co-host. I don't
I
know.
don't want Tyler the Creator as a gatekeeper? Is that controversial to say?
I wouldn't say it's controversial because I don't think he's at a level where that would be seen as controversial. I think if you were saying Jay-Z, now I don't know, some people might have came for you, but like I don't think it's crazy to say Tyler because he's still in his prime of, I don't even think he's really at the point where he can mentor someone yet.
Yeah. I
Not
feel like
not for
people
that
keep
reason. My
like
reason
putting
for
him
it
higher because he's been out for so long. And since he's been out for so long, people think he's older than he is. I saw some kids say it's crazy that the Loiter Squad is middle aged now. I was like, pause, early 30s, like relax. Like, is that middle age? Because I felt like I was personally being attacked there. Like, what the fuck? But I think when it really comes down to music artists and creatives having their own imprints, having their own labels, or even some people who, just know a lot of people, like kind of finessing their way into having their own joint venture with like major labels and stuff, it really comes down to, can you bridge the gap between the business acumen to grow a sustainable monetizing career for a music artist and the creative branding that it takes. And I think a lot of music artists, they're good at some things, but they're not really great at both. And that is what makes those who are successful and who stand out really rise above the rest, is that they are able to not just be like, yeah, I went through it too, everybody's got to go through it. It's like, no, are you changing the music industry and making it better? Because if people and artists are going through the same things that you went through as an artist, we're not getting better. We're just holding our people back, and we're just hurting ourselves, because at the end of the day, the real money is still being shared by, those top 3 companies who own the whole fucking music industry. So we over here penny pinching and gatekeeping and holding each other back, when really we should be collaborating to uplift each other, because at the end of the day, everybody can fucking eat.
I mean, I think
Heavy
another
on
thing
it.
too, going kind of piggybacking off of your point about bridging the gap. I think a lot of times some of these bigger mainstream acts, when they are starting their own ventures, they're believing that their own impact and influence is enough to be able to leverage and create that same kind of movement for whoever they bring up under them,
Oh
kind
yeah,
of kind
major
of
egos.
disregarding it's I don't even think it's ego. I just think they're disregarding the time, because if you look at like a Drake, for example, there was a time when a Drake cosign would really catapult you to a different level of stardom. Whereas now Drake will co-sign some of these artists, and it's like, okay, and you
Because
don't
that
hear from them
nigga is
ever again.
37. He had his time in the sun. And instead of the industry focusing on the next generation of artists, they got fucking lazy and started just like everyone, not even just us. Y'all see movies doing all of these remakes. Everyone in the entertainment industry got lazy and stopped being creative when all of this shit is based on creativity. The only way it moves forward is with the artists. And you stopped wanting them to create art so that they could make you the most amount of guaranteed money. That's not what this is about. Not you, of course, obviously, but
But yeah, I just feel like a lot of these mainstream acts really need to take, and it kind of just goes back to understanding the business side of it, which a lot of them have the luxury of not necessarily having to be focused on because they have so much influence because of all the art that they've already put out. So considering
yeah,
that they don't understand the business, they're just assuming, well, I could just leverage my stardom into the artists that I'm pulling up under me, not
right.
considering like we're not in that time anymore. Like you really do got to put in the groundwork to be a notable artist and have that notoriety. Like, and then on top of that, the other layer to it is a lot of these artists come under the wing of somebody else, and now you have this expectation to literally be similar to that artist rather than being your own artist. And I think that kind of watches out their impact as well, i.e., Chloe and Beyonce.
It's actually, I'm glad that you guys are bringing this up because I saw a video this week of Gucci Mane on I guess he was on Instagram or whatever, and Gucci said that he was dropping all of his artists because it was costing him more money to invest in him. I mean, and to invest in them and do business with them, and it wasn't
Gucci
really.
Mane ain't developing branding strategy and creative strategy for these artists to move them forward.
Thank you, thank you. Because listen, listen,
I'm just saying what
listen.
they're saying.
Talk about it's costing me money. Yeah, nigga, because what you doing? Buying vanity metrics? That's not what makes artists pop. Come on. Come on.
No, I'm telling y'all right now, Gucci Man is a perfect example of why your ass just need to keep putting out your 18 mixtapes a year and keep it moving. Be the snowman. That's all we need you to do. Because trying to
He saw what
I
his
think
wife did with the teas and with the fitness shit. He said, I could do that in music too.
I think he was signing like 5 or 6 artists a year, and literally like he had a whole conglomerate of them. Like it was like a whole football team of them. And unfortunately, some did pass away, which was crazy, but others just didn't pop at all. And it's like you keep signing these artists back to back to back, but you yourself, you're not taking what it takes to really invest in it. You're not putting the proper teams around them, because I'm gonna be real, I feel like Gucci Man was just doing what niggas with money do, typical nigga business. And that's not how you operate within the music business. You have to have, like you said, some type of business knowledge, marketing knowledge. And this is not selling drugs. Artists and selling drugs is not the same
Talk
thing. I'm
about it.
sorry. So with that being said, you just signing it and thinking your likeness is the only is what's going to get them popping. You were sadly mistaken. I'm sorry. Like
I think that's a
it was 1017 day. Nobody mentioned that shit all fucking day. I said, "Oh yeah. We losing
Dang, I can't
recipes.
believe I missed it.
We
I was
losing
oh.
recipes." 1017 day came and nobody mentioned this is National Gucci Day, like nothing. And the funny thing about it is that he's decided that he was going to keep Fujiano and Pooh Shiesty, who are both incarcerated currently and serving a significant amount of time. So for me, it was like, why are you even deciding to keep maybe Pooh Shiesty? I could probably see the play just a little bit in that, because Pooh Shiesty was the only artist that kind of was doing something. But outside of that, Gucci Man is a perfect example of why you being an artist, you don't need to have a record label just because you are an artist, and your likeness is not enough to make an artist hot. And even what you said earlier, Jan, when it comes to B, like, we love B, but, and I don't even think this is her, to be completely honest. I don't think this is her. She don't have the, in my personal opinion, I don't think she has the bandwidth to really produce and really cultivate an artist and take time for that. I think it would be better if she was retired and then said, you know what, let me put my focus in developing, Parkwood Records and stuff like that. But right now, where honestly, I think the lady got at least another 10, 15, 20, maybe 30 years left in her, until Beyonce finally kicks that can, not in some deaf shit, but finally says, you know what? I'm gonna really retire. Like I'm 70 years old now. I don't even think, but
She gonna be
she
on her
has,
share. She gonna be like
and
an
I think,
icon forever.
and that's what's gonna be the detriment to any artist that signs to her, is because she's
Right.
always gonna be on her shit, and unless she put Matthew Knowles to motherfucking work, none of your artists is gonna
Making the
work.
I don't
man
I don't think
Parkwood
that's it
edition.
though. I think is these artists not utilizing their star power the right way. They're not aligning their star power with the marketing. You had Tiana
You
Taylor
have to
with
develop star power too, though. I
it.
believe, in my personal opinion.
I think it worked kind of both ways. Like the pseudo star that we see right now is Brent. Dude, what's his name? Fucking what's the
Thomas
I'm not hip
Richmond.
hop. Exactly. It's that. It's me aligning myself with a pseudo popping nigga, but I'm really behind the scenes making moves. You need that star power and you need that marketing. A lot of these artists, like say a Drake, aren't using that the right way. Yeah, he's a big star, but he's not using his OVO label the right way with the Warner Bros. Or whoever he got it with now. I forget is somebody out in LA right now, but he's not using his star power with the label to work these artists the correct way, the same way Kanye wasn't using good music to work his label the right way after he was out the limelight. So it kind of works both ways. Yes, you have the star power, but you also need that label and that marketing machine behind you as well.
Can I also add another layer to this conversation? I also feel like what we're seeing with these artists, as far as like these mainstream acts trying to create their own labels, signing 4 or 5 different acts and then not working for numerous reasons, on top of the fact that you just have way too many acts and not enough bandwidth. That's literally what the industry is doing, and nobody's talking about it. You have these major labels putting 10 priorities in front of us every single week. So when everything's a priority, nothing's a priority. And we talk about why we can't break superstars no more is because y'all are pushing 50 artists a year. Like, you're not going to ever get a superstar from that. We going to be honest.
Ooh, that was a bar
Yeah.
yawn. That was a fucking bar you said earlier. What you say? You pushing every what? Say that shit again, girl. That shit was fire.
I said, if everything's a priority, then nothing's a priority. And I feel like that's what we're seeing with a lot of these independent labels, the major labels. Like, we're just seeing too much. There's just way too much shit in the mix right now. And it sounds like, I hate to say that because it sounds like I don't have a love for the art, but on a mainstream level and on the industry level, there's just way too much coming from the industry where it's hard to prioritize anything because it's just way too much. Like, there's too much noise in the space. You can't really single out anybody as a star because you have XYZ label pushing 50 stars at one time. Like, there's no way you can prioritize one person when you have 50 other people to extend resources to. It's
Yeah.
impossible.
And I
Can I
think
say something to that point though? The industry today isn't about stars, and I think that's the thing. Like we're missing,
Wait, you
right?
said it's not
Like
about what?
what's
Because you sound a little
it's
far from
not
the
about
phone.
it's not about stars anymore. like like nobody wants to recognize this, but when the SoundCloud era came through, it affected things in a positive and a bad way. And I mean that in that now you have people from like places like Alabama and Tennessee and like and not like just Memphis or stuff like that, but like you got artists from way smaller markets able to put themselves in a position to like really win. You feel me? Where nowadays, I mean, back in the day, it had to be New York, LA, Atlanta, and then you, or if you was from somewhere other than that, you had to go to a place, get pop it, and then go from there. But what's happening now is you see a lot of artists making shit tons of money by performing to their subculture and to their sub audience. That's what's going on today. It's not really about the big for them. You know what I'm saying? So what they're doing in terms of the labels, it's just monetizing that the same way that they figured out like the DSP thing. People get pissed off at DSPs, but I still don't think a lot of people understand how it works because the music industry has changed. And what's happening is you're seeing a lot more people who are not willing or wanting to discover new music. As a DJ, I see this shit all the time. But also you don't see like you're seeing the impacts of the financial market on the music industry in terms of like making these big stars. People are not buying music anymore. And like every time the DSP conversation comes up, I love to remind people this, but like people are not buying music. Y'all are renting music on these streaming platforms. How many of y'all can say that like y'all buy like on iTunes or buy a physical copy of things? Like I know I do. If it's an artist I fuck with, I'm gonna go ahead and spend that $9.99. But what's happening again is that we're seeing the financial impacts of how these things work and how that ends up like manifesting itself into big stars. Because that's why a Drake has to tour as much as he does. Yes, it's beneficial for him financially, but at the end of the day, he knows he's not actually selling those records. And I think any big artist knows that they're not really selling those records. So you're gonna get fewer and fewer and fewer and fewer big stars, and we're gonna get more legacy acts coming out with projects that sound fresh and groundbreaking, and we're gonna like praise them into the dirt. But like the lack of big stars is a result of that. And that's also a reason why artist development is not the same way it is, which is in turn another reason why we're not getting big stars. So we can talk about bigger artists not like their cosigns not meaning things like as much as they do. Cause like I'm gonna be real, like I think somebody said a Drake cosign like didn't put you or it doesn't isn't the same today. I disagree. I think Drake uses his brand very well, but I think what people are not paying attention to is the impact that he has on the overseas market. The fact that we like niggas know Skepta for real. You feel me? Like the fact that they're like more people interested in house, and I'm not like crediting that all to him, but like when he came out with that album, that everybody was kind of like, "Oh, this is weird. Like, what the fuck is this?" There's a lot of people that like actually tapped into some Black Coffee, and Black Coffee been around forever. There's a lot of people that tapped into Afrobeat, Amapiano, and I'm not saying like he's the king of that or the gatekeeper of that, but like for some people, Drake is like that Sean Paul moment for a lot of us in the States. Like when niggas learned what Sean Paul was, we like, oh, like dance hall? Oh, like let's get popping. And so like I just think there's a there's a lot of nuance that can be said about these bigger artists and like why they're not doing well. Some of it is financial, some of it is like we're focused too much on the States, but also another thing is we're looking too like broad into the mainstream and not looking at the subcultures that are being developed in the youth.
So yeah, I feel like the subculture thing is the next big wave in the industry, or what mainstream industry is focused on is cultivating fan bases and how to tap into fan bases. And instead of chasing, millions of fleeting fans who are only going to listen to your song once, tapping in and locking in with those thousands or hundreds of thousands of fans who are going to play your song hundreds or thousands of times and be your guerrilla marketing team and share it with people and all of those things. Mainstream like industry has just caught wind of that, but that's how you know that, okay, we got to figure out something else. Because anytime mainstream industry, like Billie Eilish is doing it, like Charlie XCX is doing it, like these bigger major label artists are doing it, it's like, oh, okay, there's going to be a shift. Because right now the entire industry is changing as a whole, you guys, because the older people who didn't want to let go of their jobs, they're being forcibly removed because they don't know what they're doing. They're not getting ahead of the wave. They're constantly chasing what's working for independent artists or what's working for stars who cross over. And so that's why the new CEO of Atlantic is 30 years old. But I don't even want to talk about that, because that, for me, like the nepotism from like the chairman of Universal's son being the CEO of Atlantic, and Atlantic is a Warner company, and like I said, the only big three
Who's
is
that? The
Sony,
Grange
Warner,
brothers? The
and
Grange
Universal.
people?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's just big Jewish energy in a room. No, don't worry though.
It's I just like that nepotism is crazy, because it's just like they don't know what they're doing, so they're trying to make a shift for power, so that whenever they decide to do something, people have to listen. Like when Universal took all of their music off of TikTok, I knew that shit was coming back. It's a negotiating tactic. Like, I didn't think it was going to happen forever, but look at how that trickled down to people who weren't even on Universal. That's the power that these big three companies have that people don't understand and realize. They are in publishing, they are in, they're in labels, obviously, they're in distribution, smaller things. So it's a lot. It's a lot of shit going on. And what artists need to focus on, instead of trying to chase what major labels and what the mainstream industry is doing, if you're not at that level yet, you got to just get good where you're at and continue to grow, because consistency produces results. You having to start over because you keep firing your team because nothing's working, because you tried some shit out for 10 months, 6 months, a year, bruh, it's a 10 to 15 for this is a lifetime thing. This is a career. Being a music artist is a job. It is not a side hustle. It's not a get rich quick scheme. Like, this is work. So if you're expecting to see like little pump results, or you see these people who take off and da 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 da, just look at how long it lasts though. Look at how long it sustains though. The music industry is about building momentum, sustaining that momentum, and then maximizing on it. And it's a wash and repeat process. And every time you repeat, you take like stock. What worked last time? Even if you are not a big enough artist where you're doing full rollouts at, go down to content creation. I am going to promote my music until people find my music. I promoted my music last month. I posted once a day, every day. What worked? What didn't work? Okay, I'm going to change it. That's what artists need to get used to doing, instead of just trying to, I just want to get signed to a label. Like, that's, and I'm an artist manager, so maybe I am just used to like managing artist expectations, but that's the work that that I think a lot of people sleep on, or a lot of people don't understand. And even the music industry got lazy. They were just like, y'all like this nigga, we gonna keep having him do different kind of songs from younger people. So until he got called out. Literally, I honestly, if Kendrick did not call Drake out, I don't think the industry would have had the, ooh, you right, like aha moment that we had. Like, that needed to happen, because the difference between Kendrick and Drake is that being a pop artist or a music artist, that's Drake's identity. Being a music artist for Kendrick Lamar, that is his job. That is his profession. That is his career. You know, he has a life outside of this. So, yeah. That's my piece. I'll get off the soapbox.
Thank you. Now, you made some great points. I think you made some valid points, honestly. I honestly like and I'm gonna let you go really quick, Tony, too, but I do like this point that Irene made as well. It's here in the little whatever this thing is called again.
Me
Um
too.
because hello, like, I mean, Sabrina, from what I'm not, I don't know knee deep history on the pop girlies like that, I'll be very honest. But when you do see how quickly, and I mean, Sabrina, they said she's been out for 10 plus years. She's been a songwriter. She's been doing her thing. So I guess her overnight success is what's happening now with her being able to sell out arenas. But a Tate McRae, you know what I'm saying? This is not me coming out any of the girlies, but a Tate McRae that could come out within the last, what, let's just say 2-3 years.
She been out for like 5 years too.
Okay, 5 years. Boom. Skyrocket. Boom. Arenas sold out. You know what I'm saying? What exactly is the difference between that and the music of what we're discussing, if you guys are catching what I'm trying to put down?
They had multiple hits. Like, Tate McRae had numerous like big pop songs. Not gonna hold you. Like, she's a big star, especially in Canada, that America just decided to outsource. So that's kind of different.
Or are you talking about she's more of the front of the palm instead of the back of the palm? What are you talking about?
Not just in general, like with the new pop girlies, especially. So even with the Chapel Roans and all of them been out for a minute. They've been doing their thing for like 5-6+ years or so. They're just now starting to get their light, because, as this person was up here saying, like, they need new stars. Before Water even popped, they was trying to say, like, y'all, like what Tatiana was saying, the label been pushed and titled like, oh, she's supposed to be the next Rihanna, But they say that about mad artists. That don't mean it's gonna happen. But then there's a few key people that I have faith in the artists and jump out on the bridge and push them. Then when they get that viral moment, it's like, hey, what are they gonna do with it? So again, a lot of times it comes down to that machine. And an artist can have a viral moment, but if you don't got that machine behind you, it's not gonna matter. This is the music industry at the end of the day. So yeah, that viral moment, it matters on what you do with it next, but you still need that machine. Somebody before was talking about how like Drake helped push like Afro beats and dancehall and all that. Yeah, he helped influence it because he has a big platform. But again, he did not have the machine behind him. That's why his artists like Party Next Door, Majid Jordan, they flop, because again, you still need a machine. Those other artists are stars in their own light with their own machine behind them. And Drake, again, is just spotlighting them. The labels are now putting money behind Tyler and a Sabrina and a Chapel Roan because they seen they got momentum. So again, just because you got a viral moment, who was it? Tinashe. Tinashe didn't have much steam behind her. She's indie right now, but she got a loan and got a label budget and did all this other stuff on an independent tip. so she can get a machine behind her because her song was taken off. But for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, she wasn't on radio. She didn't have no money behind her, and she actually had to go get a loan and put it behind herself to make her song keep going. So again, just because like you find a moment, don't mean you can sustain it unless you put that money behind you, and that's what it comes down to at the end of the day.
Yeah, sorry, I was smoking, so I was letting everybody talk. But to Tony's point, like with the new pop girlies, like a lot of them have been in the game for a minute. It's almost like a Victoria Monet situation where I guess maybe because we aren't hyper focused on pop music in the sense of like the type of pop music that they make, we don't see that evolution of, oh, they wrote for Ariana, oh, they did da 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 da. Like we don't see that part because we're not paying attention. Whereas I think Victoria, we were all kind of like looking out for her and watching for her. But these girls be in the industry. They're the ones doing the studio sessions. They're the ones like doing the background vocals on the pop girly songs and probably not even getting credit. They're the ones that are in the rooms probably writing the lyrics that other people are taking credit for. Like they're the girlies in the room doing that. And so a lot of these girlies been putting the work in. We just aren't really seeing it. So when they come out in full force in the way they are right now, it seems like, well, where the fuck did you come from? Not realizing that this whole like pop music resurgence is a manufactured machine. It's not a coincidence that all of these pop girlies ran the summer. It was them, the country niggas, and Kendrick all summer. Like, but that's not by a mistake. I think the only one that genuinely for me felt like something for the people by the people was Kendrick. But that was because a big beef was behind it. But also Kendrick has his own machine and Drake has his own machine. So it's still machine pushed in a sense. Because of how Dave Free and Kendrick even rolled everything out. There was still a level of business behind it. It's just about who can really mask it to make it look the most genuine, I hate to say. But like the Sabrina girlies and all of them, they ran this year. I mean, ran laps round.
Like, nah, they did. They did. I'm okay. I'm okay. Okay.
Like,
Espresso.
bro,
Yeah, that's my
when I
shit.
tell you they will pay, if you listen to the radio, like the Pop Z100s and shit like that, they play espresso on the hour every fucking hour and then follow it up with Chaperone and then they follow it up with Take McCray. Like they literally have these girlies on a back to back to back rotation. Like they really locked it. Let me tell you when I knew shit was, I mean, I've been knew shit was like, yo, crazy. Ariana Grande just hosted SNL. They got her on SNL spoofing espresso. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
And Ari was the girl at one point that we looked at as Sabrina. She was our Sabrina at one point. Now we looking at the Sabrina like Ari gotta spoof you. Like I remember when like Madonna went on SNL and they had Lady Gaga on there spoofing her. There's always going to be a machine manufacturing something else. It's just all about how big is that machine and how hard those people really gonna ride for you. That's really what it all comes down to. If they Tyler, I remember seeing Tyler on TikTok when she had this song out. It was like, "Can't lie, won't stop. I've been thinking about you," or some shit like that. And I remember seeing it and going, "Damn, this shit look mad polished, but she looked like a new artist." So I started doing my research and stuff. I'm like, "Oh, she is signed. Okay." So they testing things out with her. All right, let me see where it goes from here. Next thing I know, water drops and she's out of here. And I'm like, damn, in my head it happened quick, but I don't realize this girl was already signed. This girl was already releasing music.
Mm-hmm. I think I remember. I
Cause,
think
cause
yeah. Because
before,
when water did
yeah,
drop,
cause before
yeah.
water dropped, she
You're
had
right.
already went viral with a song. But
She
it
was
just
out
Yeah.
2-3
wasn't a.
years before Water and had songs with what's my not oh my god, not Tim, listen to other Nigerian shorty.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Aria
Exactly. They
Yeah.
Star.
had songs that like she been
Mm-hmm.
doing her thing. She just didn't have
Yes,
a
she
song
did.
yet.
Yes, yes.
So it's like when we are, I think it's more. We had this conversation too. Where are we getting our new artists?
And I think that goes back to the label cosign and the machine. And hip hop don't got that right now. If you look at hip hop across all labels, most of the people got gutted. And the only thing that labels are hiring right now are people to audit. That's what's being hired right now. Niggas to audit what you spent money on, where the money went, where's it going. That's who, like, you about to see. Next year about to be crazy. But just know the people that they're hiring right now in Q4 are auditors. They want to know where that money went, where it's going, and where this new check about to go to.
But we
So
could tell that just based off of what Lucien and his son was saying. They walked in the
Kia,
door.
your mic is cutting out unless it's just me that can't hear you.
Wait, can you hear me? Wait, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Y'all, Milan, can y'all hear me?
I can hear you.
John, you can't hear me? Oh, I don't think y'all can hear me. Why is Elon doing this to us? Why he don't like us?
Because he's a pasty bitch.
I'm
Jan.
gonna just
I
say
can't hear Kia, and I
this
can't
is
exit out because it's gonna shut the thing down.
I'm gonna just say my little point, and then I'm gonna leave and come back in. But Lucien and
This is
his
ghetto.
son,
I'm so over this fucking app.
Lucien and his
I'm sorry,
son,
y'all.
no, Lucien and his son, they said that from the jump. The moment they announced that whole thing about, we, the son owned this half of the music industry and Lucien owned this much of the industry, they said like, nah, we like niggas gotta go. like if you ain't really adding no value, you gotta go. And it sucks because now you just bringing in the money watchers. What the fuck we gonna do with the money watchers?
2/3 of the music industry ran by one Jewish family is crazy. I'm not gonna hold you.
I mean, hasn't it always been that way?
Yeah, we just know now, honestly.
We just, we just privy to the information now because of everything. Like, we just now know how you made ice out of water. That's really what it is.
That's the crazy part. They're not even hiding no more. Like, it's just blatant. They got it out in the open. Like, yeah, we know it all come from Europe, the old families, but like now y'all just don't care. That's crazy.
Wait, can everybody hear me now?
I
Y'all,
can hear
me?
you. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yay!
Okay. Elon gonna pay for his fucking crimes. Pussy. But yeah, I ain't gonna hold you. Like the whole Lucien and his son running everything, that shit is, I ain't never seen no shit like that in my life. But
Okay, so quick question. Does that create a conflict of interest to a certain degree?
That'd be my
Yes, bro.
thing.
This
Like,
regulated, nigga. That's a fucking monopoly, bro. It can't be one fucking family. Even though this is just entertainment and it's not like a need, if we gonna have a rule on monopolies for you know what am I talking about? This is America. It's one big fucking company. All they care about is money. Never mind. We're not getting no regulation. That's why they over here advocating for songwriters to have money, like when it's like, nigga, they used to be the only ones that made money because artists couldn't even have songs without songwriters. Now they don't have money to pay their rent, like, because people want to pay them less. That's wild. And even like y'all, I don't know if y'all know anything about royalties, but if you start looking into it and it doesn't make sense, don't feel stupid. It was intentionally made super fucking difficult for us to understand because music artists were never supposed to have ownership of their music, and they were never supposed to know about a master. They were never supposed to know about any of these things. But now, with the increase of the internet and all of this and our access to information, people started coming for their things. They started wising up. And so
And
it's like,
whistleblowing too. People who probably got
yeah.
tired of that bullshit and being taken advantage of, who, when you on the inside of some shit and you know how it work and you kind of tired of that bullshit, you kind of blow the whistle on them. They was too short in this bitch.
You know what, Milan? Because I was really singing "Blow the Whistle" in my head, so please stop.
But nah, that's crazy.
I'm so
I think
happy I
that's
found y'all.
absolutely crazy that can be allowed, to be completely honest with you. Like, damn, what happened to the game I love? Was it always the game
But
I love?
I have a question, y'all. Do we have something in the music industry? Now, this is when I really do it. Do we have something in the music industry where if business it seems unethical or like a monopoly or whatever, they step in and they would rectify it or investigate it? Do we have anything like that in the music industry?
No, we don't have internal affairs in the music industry. That's why most of this shit
I
is
personally don't
drug
know.
dealers.
Wait, is somebody talking? Oh my god.
I think Diddy just gotta blame Lucien for everything. That's the only way out.
You know what? I'm not playing with y'all. I'm not playing with y'all. That's what I'm not doing
No,
today.
on a serious note though, I do feel like to their point, there definitely isn't like internal affairs that would be able to investigate or something like that. But I do feel like there probably will be eventually some kind of lawsuit that'll surface over this monopoly esque shit that's going on in the industry because I'm pretty sure it's illegal in America to have monopolies. So it's like I think eventually it would just take the right lawyer to be able to package it up and make it make sense. But right now that's not a thing.
I
The
technically
lawyer would
don't
have
think
to argue that music is like a need because that's the thing with monopolies is you can have a monopoly. You just can't have a monopoly on a
Tony, were you
resource like
talking or
water,
did you mute yourself? I'm
electricity.
trying to figure out if it's me.
I'm
Oh
muted because
no,
I was gonna talk, but I'm muted.
no conformity was speaking. I'm sorry, no conformity. What's your name? I don't want to call you your Twitter name.
It's Jasmine. I was actually signed on my normal account and then switched to this one when
Okay,
I
she's
started
talking.
talking.
I can't hear her. I'll be back,
Yeah,
y'all.
Jasmine's talking. Oh, Elon, you're gonna pay for your crimes.
Because what the fuck is this? Why does keep happening?
But
This been happening since we opened this shit up. To
No,
be
for real.
honest.
I
Before it
don't
used
think
to be they used to close our spaces.
for the monopoly though, I don't think that would happen because they're technically not the owner of these places. They're just the presidents, so they're not the owners. They still have a board and all that type of stuff. They're just the people making big decisions, but they're not the owners of the company, so technically not a monopoly.
Well, what about the labels that are folding into the major labels now? Like I know,
The subsidiaries that
yeah.
there's still a board. Like UMG and all these other places still have like
That's
a
called
board and they're
capitalism.
there you go.
I mean, but
Uh,
capitalism is legal in America.
Yeah, so
That's why this
everything
ain't a
that
That's
monopoly.
literally
it's the
our whole
same thing.
economy.
Because look at
Our
this,
whole
all of the
economy is a
food companies,
capitalistic society.
all of the food companies are owned by the same people. All of the medicine companies are owned by the same people. All of the farmers, like everything is owned by like a group of 5 people.
child, now I
It's the
can't hear
same
Mystery
shit.
Man. Y'all, it might be time to wrap because this is annoying now.
I mean, it's true.
No,
I can hear
mystery
him.
man,
He's just
she can't hear you as in like your audio went out for
Oh
her.
my bad. I'm on the ramp at the airport. My fault, Tony.
Oh, he said he on the ramp at the airport, so
hello. You better make sure them people got them bags. What you
No.
doing?
It's not that I can't understand. Like I literally don't
No,
hear
I
him
know you can't hear him.
talking.
No, you can't hear
Yeah.
him. Wait, mystery man, can you leave and come back? Like leave the spaces and then come back.
He was
Cause
basically saying that all the food companies, all the drug companies, all the different companies in America, all owned by the same parent company at the end of the day, and that's just called capitalism.
mm-hmm. But I mean, we have to live. I don't think. Well, I don't know. I don't think anything. I think we've been living in a capitalistic society for so long. I don't think we could try to restructure it, but like that's just the way of the land. So I guess
Who's
that's just
willing
what
to
we're.
die behind this shit? Because that's what it come
Nobody.
down to. That's what it come down to.
Nobody,
If you want to
baby.
be real about some shit, you got to
Okay,
be
first
ready
of
to die about
all,
some shit.
Huh?
Kia, you
Huh?
definitely hit them notes. Period.
I did. I've
She
been
did.
practicing.
I was like, wait, hold on.
My piano lessons are coming in good, guys.
But nah, for real, like that's what it really boiled down to. Can y'all hear me still or no?
Yeah, we can
Yes,
hear
yeah, you
you.
good.
Okay. But that's what it really boiled down to. Niggas gotta be willing to die behind some shit because that's what's gonna take. You know how these big power players are when it comes to wanting respect and fairness and all this great shit. It sounds kind of dark, but that's the reality of life. You gotta be willing to die about some shit. And if you're not
Well,
willing to die
Hove
about some
said he
shit,
was.
niggas is gonna keep it. Keep it the
Well,
same
Hove
way.
said he was Jeff Fort, so let him go out there and figure something out.
I'm gonna keep my opinion to myself. Okay.
I'm just
Hove is
saying
just
you can't
Obama.
compare yourself to a Black Panther and not be willing to. Okay. All
Kia,
right.
stop,
Okay.
stop,
All right.
stop.
We're
You
gonna
shaking
move
the table.
on.
Stop,
We're
stop.
gonna move on because I have alliances. We're gonna move on because
We can't. Yeah, we love you,
yeah,
Hove.
yeah. Okay.
Do y'all? I mean, he just Obama out here. You know, he
I
talks a
really
good
no
game,
really
but
I'm really locked in
Oh,
like that. Like I'm really locked in. I can't go there. I can't go. I can't.
But
this
I don't
space
I
want
don't
is
no
know.
brought to you by
sympathy,
Rock Gov.
baby. But I gotta go from this topic right now.
Right. So look, we can't do anything about our economy. We live in a capitalistic economy. It is what it is. But we can do shit about the music industry though. Like the rise of independent music artists, music companies, all of that is because of our our accessibility from resources, and it's because of people diverting from the machine. So you really have to think about, because the machine is useful, you know what I'm saying? Like it's nice to have these legacy artists, it's nice to have these bigger artists who can do bigger things, but when it comes to culture, when it comes to art, when it comes to the music that we want, I think we're getting that when people are able to do things more independently, like Brent Faiyaz, like Kendrick Lamar. And even if they, tap into the machine for money and resources, they still have control over their creative. And so that's the bridge. I think I talked about that earlier, but the bridge between business acumen and creativity is what's really going to push us all forward, and you can do that independently. Music artists are able to get investments from IndieFi, where you can just have an investor invest in a one single, so you don't owe them hella money, and you also can't give away more than 50% of your song, because we know music artists would, as history has shown us, give away 100% of their song if it means that they can have more money. But there has to be
50%. What the fuck?
I said they can't give away more than 50, and it's 50%
Why
of
we
the
not
master.
starting at 10%? What the hell going on? Why we
Well, I'm saying that they don't have to give away 50. I'm just saying that they can't give away more than that. You know what I'm saying?
No, I get what you're saying.
Oh,
I'm just saying like that being the maximum is still crazy. Like 50%.
oh yeah. But
Whoa.
the kind of
Okay.
deals that I negotiate are licensing deals. They're never into perpetuity. Nobody's having real ownership. You're only licensing this song for 7 years. And it's like, cool. That means that you have stakes in this song. You only gonna get money if you put some work into this. And if you don't put any work into this, okay. So it's like it's about making it make sense for both parties. The creative, we need an investment to do our creative shit, in a way that makes sense and in a way that we can sustain. And then the business people, they need ways to invest money that doesn't really hurt them, but then if shit takes off, they can be a part of it and they can capitalize off of the success. So I really think that that's the future of the music industry, but it's only going to happen if we work together and if we support each other and we stop like feeding into the machine. And that would mean that, niggas have to be okay not taking a quick check all the time. And we'll see. Some artists are cool with that because they look at the longevity of their careers and stuff. And some artists just want the bag because they
So
need
yeah,
to pay for clothes.
so it ain't gonna happen.
Really quick, but really quick. I just want to say, right? How does it feel to be Madam President?
Me?
Yes.
No, because like,
Listen,
no.
you hear the laugh? Come on, Madam President.
Every
How
time
does
you
it
said
feel?
right, I was just like, oh my God, we on the phone with the president.
Y'all are so funny.
Oh my gosh, y'all, funnest fact in the fucking world. My my college roommate is Kamala Harris's godson.
Is he black or Indian?
Now look at
Yes,
that.
he's black.
You know what? Goodbye, Tony.
Tony, don't play
Tony hit
these
us with Janet
games.
Jackson. Tony said, is he even black?
Yeah.
Wild. Did an
Oh my
did an
gosh.
AKA have a black godson? Is what I just heard. That's wild.
I know white AKAs and deltas and all that. I went to HBCU. It is okay.
Not the
Oh,
white.
I don't. I didn't go to HBCU, so the only ones I know are my black friends.
Hey, we all can't be
Ooh,
privileged.
child.
But nah, I mean, I agree with your takes on like the independent route and all that. I just think the Indies gonna fold because they want that check. Like we had an AWOL that was independent. We had an Orchard that was independent, but like they're not independent no more.
Meaning like they what sold, signed? What do you
Yeah, they
mean
folded into
exactly?
the
I'm
label.
sincerely
Like
asking.
the Orchard is now what
Mm.
Sony, AWOL. What is AWOL? I forget who they own. Like most of these
They
places
with
fold.
Dr. Luke, so Prescription, who is probably with RCA.
There you go. So a lot of these
Yeah, I said
independent
Sony.
companies, like the independent distros, they fold into the labels. Like who is it, Ingrooves and Virgin or whatever. Like it's mad at them that
Empire stay
fold.
strong.
Yeah, it's Empire and DistroKid really.
are they completely independent though? Because people love to frame themselves as being independent and they not really independent. Like, are you completely 100%
I don't
independent?
know who them San Francisco people is getting money from on the Empire side, but so I
No,
hear.
guy's the independent. He wants some Bay shit in the Bay because he's from the Bay. I'm from the Bay too, but he's from the Bay, and like the Bay Area is a huge part of music culture, but it seems like we're slept on. Like nothing stays in the Bay. Like when people make it or get big, they move to LA. I mean, I'm in LA right now, so I'm a part of I'm them. When I say people, I'm one of the people. But Ghazi is not connected to anything. Empire is a standalone company. It started as like a distribution company and now is offering more label services. But that's also the move. Like SoundCloud, I believe, is also stepping into distribution and offering label services.
Yep.
What's the names of the people? United Masters. I don't think they're doing distribution, but I know that they're offering label
Their
service.
distro company.
I was about to say they
Yeah,
are.
their
Oh,
distro.
my
Hmm.
dumbass. They are a distribution.
Again,
Oh
there's a
my god,
lot.
now I don't know if they're offering distribution. Let me log off.
Again, there's a lot. I just don't think they're gonna stay independent for long. United Masters, One RPM, again, DistroKid, Symphonic. I can name mad of them shits. Like there's a lot of them, but I don't believe once they get big enough, like United Masters, they got a few big artists that I think they're either gonna partner with a major or do whatever with. Even like a SoundCloud with Sound On and all that. Like what's Talib's daughter or whatever, they're probably gonna upstream her to a major or something like that because they're not that big enough to really push her to the next level.
I was literally gonna say, and I think that's how you can kind of see some of these independents are really independent because there's a certain level that the artists on their rosters are just not like as big as they are, they're just not able to reach yet because they don't have the backing of the machine, unfortunately. Like an Empire. Like Empire has a crazy roster, but there's certain artists on that roster that they're just not gonna be able to reach certain heights unless they partner up with a major, in my
You
opinion.
know, my
And
theory
it's because
is
they
that
all have deals to be serviced to radio and all of that. And honestly, everybody sleeps on radio, but radio is how you hit like middle America, like like the blue collar people who need some music while they're out working and shit. Like, so that's how you hit rest of America, not just the big music markets. And that's like iHeartRadio, who basically owns all of the radio stations. They're talking to RCA, Warner, and Universal.
This is
But
why
yeah,
country
you're
music
right.
eats because they're on their own radio station. They're on their own middle America all the time. They own the charts because they own radio, and radio is crazy
Who
out here.
You know what I think we should do the next time we do our spaces, Jean and Milan. I think we should finally have the superstar convo we've been holding off.
I think so too.
Yes, we will. I love
So,
that.
should we present like our criteria now so that people can come with their own examples?
I'm not mad at that for those that's here now. Definitely, if you want to join the conversation next time. Yeah.
Okay, so I think we have it in our doc. Because I think this would be a good time to, because we've been having this conversation a lot about the industry and the politics, and really all of it has been back to one question: do superstars still matter? And if so, how would you create a superstar in today's climate? So we came up with this game. It's kind of similar to R&B Money, where I don't know how many listen to R&B Money, but they do this thing, well, sometimes where they tell you to build like your own like type of superstar. So it's like, who would you take the voice from? Who would you take like X, Y, and Z from? So this is kind of like our version of that. So Jan called it Build a Star, like Build a Bear. So yeah, basically you guys are gonna be coming to Build a Bear with us. We're gonna take a class field trip and we're gonna go to Build a Bear, and everybody's gonna build their own superstar. So, the main question is, have we redefined what a superstar is, or has the path to superstardom just became like, is it different now than what it used to be? And the task at hand is to build a star based off of qualities that you would pull from today's artists, meaning that their first album had to be released between 2014 and 2024, the last 10 years. Can't
Ooh.
pull from homie that dropped the album in 2010. You got to pull from an artist that released their first, and we gonna check to see if it's an EP, a mixtape, or something. Their first album has to be released between 2014 and 2024.
I have a
Now the
question.
wait, because I ain't finished with the
Okay.
criteria. Now the criteria includes vocals, and vocals can be rapping or singing. If you choose to have a rapping and singing artist, yes, you do need to choose a rapping and singing voice. Personal style slash aesthetics. So we need to know what we're looking at visually. Live performance, penmanship, because over here we respect the writers. And if they're not writing the music themselves, who would be writing the music for them? If you could pick who would be their go-to producer, and who would be like the person in charge of their visuals or videos, or who would you pull from as far as their visuals or videos?
Does the producer have to be new?
That's a
I
good
think
question.
they don't have to be new because I think today's artists can work with like a Timberland. So I think
Yeah,
that could be the only one where it doesn't have to be new.
I think writer and producer,
It could be
I'm cool
anybody.
with you just choosing anybody. But all the other
Yeah.
ones, they gotta be from 2014 to 2024. We gonna post the requirements on our pages, so y'all ain't gotta hit us up asking about it. Because when we come back for our next spaces, I'ma need those assignments done.
And
Now
then for
who's
context, so y'all get like so y'all can understand it fully. So what we're asking y'all to do would be like, if I could build a superstar, this person would have Ari Lennox's voice, and their aesthetic would be like Tyla's, and the live performance would be similar to Beyonce and penmanship. Like you're literally building an artist using characteristics from artists that are already out between 2014 and today.
yes, RJ, you popped up as a speaker. What you have something to say? Hello, RJ.
Oh, yeah, I'm here. So you guys starting it now? Like, can we name the artist?
No, 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 no. That's gonna be our next
Or we-
No.
spaces. So
Oh, okay.
if not this Thursday, the Sunday coming, or one of those days, you got to be on the lookout. But
Yeah, we'll share it on timeline.
yeah, but
Oh,
we're
yeah.
gonna
I
post
see.
everything on the Reasonable Dialogue page. So even if you don't follow all of us, the Reasonable Dialogue page going to have all the information. It's going to have the criteria again, the main question we're trying to answer, and when we pick the day, that's when we'll go ahead and post it on the page. So just you got to be on the lookout for that. But we gonna post all of that. We just letting y'all know right now because I'm trying to see where y'all minds is at because we gonna debate.
I got you. Yeah.
Anybody else got some questions about the assignment? Oh, this is so fun. It's like a science project. Anybody else?
I'm just excited to hear who they building.
Right. Who y'all going? If y'all got it, we also got to tally up how many people use like the same artist so we can see who
Yeah,
people
yeah.
really pulling from because that's going to also tell us who really got the streets. This is exciting.
Okay, I love that. Well,
So that,
it's about that
yeah,
time.
that's our assignment for you guys. So when y'all come back to the condo, I'm, I'm gonna need them characters in order.
I want to say this is mad hard if you trying to build a dude because all these new niggas is ugly. Pause, no homo.
That's not true. I can name a couple that look good, but I'm
He
A
said
debut
these
album?
niggas ain't got no
A debut
style.
hell
album? Nah,
yeah.
all these new niggas
Have
ugly.
you seen T.A. Thomas? Please stop it.
Tony said these niggas ain't got shit.
I was just cooling with TA. Yo, you know TA bought TA manager bought Austin his dog, right? Like they the homies. What you mean?
Tony said these. Yes, Al. What's up, Al? Wait, why Al went back to a listener? I don't know what's going on with this app. I told y'all it's glitchy. Al, if it's a question about the thing, just call me or DM me or text me or send me a voice note. But yeah, so um once again, if you just popped in, we are about to close out. But next spaces, we don't know what day we're going to do it yet. It is going to be soon. We are going to do a Build a Star spaces. And we're taking a family field trip from the condo to Build a Bear, and everybody's going to build their own little superstar. We're going to post the criteria on the Reasonable Dialogue page. We're also going to post when we're going to do it on the Reasonable Dialogue page. But everybody has to come with their criteria. You have to choose a vocalist, rapping or singing, or it could be both. Personal style and aesthetics, live performance, penmanship, a producer, and visual slash videos. You have to choose from people that released their first album between 2014 and 2024, except for the writer and producer that can be from any recent era or time. Don't try to pull somebody from the 70s because I'm gonna check your card.
Right. Y'all artist is not gonna have Stevie Wonder as a writer. That is not fair.
Like, come on, be for real. Be fucking for
Nah,
real.
somebody come up here and
Use
say
that
Stevie, I'm gonna
noggin.
kick them off, yo. Don't come up here and say Stevie. So. Y'all niggas come up here and say Quincy Jones, you're
Yeah,
out of
like you're
here.
out. Back to the gulag for you.
Automatically disqualified. Back to the gulag.
Niggas gonna come up here and be like, yeah, I'm gonna have Michael Jackson for the live performance.
Like, that's not the assignment.
Nah, I'm coming up here with niggas from the 80s. I don't give a fuck. But yeah, so that's our next spaces. Once again, please tap in with all of us. Follow the lovely host, Jan, Milan, and myself. Follow the Reasonable Dialogue page. Please stay tapped in with us. We're gonna try to do like more interactive stuff on the pages for you guys. And yeah, just look out for our next spaces because that's when we're gonna do Build a Star, aka our field trip to Build a Bear. And just hit us up if y'all have any questions. Like if I have any questions about it, just tweet the Reasonable Dialogue page or one of us and we'll answer it for you guys. And yeah.
But the instructions will be posted though
Yes.
for everyone to do what they gotta do. But yeah.
All right.
Y'all ain't gotta
Love
go
you guys.
home, but y'all gotta get
But
that
you gotta get
butt
out the
out of
condo.
here.
Take your shoes, take your weed, take your
Well, they
purple
ain't got
potato
no weed.
salad because nobody's eating that
They can leave
shit.
the weed.
Oh yeah, you can lead a weed, lead a weed, lead a weed, lead a weed.
Say no
That's our
more.
gift. Thank you very much. But yeah, you know what you do. You know what to
All right, let me
do.
sing a song for our newly inducted Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Myrrh. Crispy chicken, fresh lettuce wrapped in a crispy tortilla, crispy chicken wrapped up in a crispy tortilla.
And that's a wrap.
I'm done, y'all. Goodbye.